parched landscape of Oxford, South Park. That tree actually didn't die because of the drought. It's been dead for quite a long time. We haven't had any rain for a few weeks now. And you can see it in the grass. Anyway, hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to this HPANWO TV video. And I'm going back to the UFO Academy in Watford again. Yeah, is this... How many times have I been there? Well, no, but you'll know by looking at the number on the title of this video, but I'm going back there again, and I'm so pleased, so happy, because I had to miss the last one because I went to the ASAP conference. Oh dear, I mean, I'd already booked the ASAP one. There's a video of that, by the way, if you want to see it, but I get to go to this one, which is great. Oh, it's fantastic. High Elms Manor is the most beautiful venue for a UFO conference, one of the best and loveliest you could ever want to go to, and you know, and the people I get to see, all my old friends, interesting speakers. Tell you what, I'll just show you a little bit more about it now. Okay, everyone, this is the event I'm going to see. I'm going back, probably for the 6th or 7th time, to Awake and Aware at the High Elms Manor, Watford, which is one of the nicest places you can actually go to get a UFO conference. You are Saturday 25th and Sunday the 26th of July 2026. And we have here Jason P. Moss. Ardvon Jones, I met Ardvon. He lives in he's an expat Taffy, lives in Northern Ireland. Then Kerry Cassidy, who of course runs the whole thing and set it all up. Miles Johnston, who else? Maria Wheatley, you're familiar with. Mark Christopher Lee, now he's a guy I know quite well online, but I've never met him. Be good to meet him, actually. He's been making quite a stir in the last couple of months, so it'd be good to hear his side of things. He's been treated quite badly, I think, by many sides, as I've said before. Colin Wolford, again, you know him, and Simon Parks. Familiar names, most of these people. I've heard them many times before, but it'd be great to see them again. Professor Simon Holland was going to speak. That would have been fun, but he's a Scottish guy, but he lives in the south of France, and he couldn't get over there. So Colin has taken his place. It's good to, and there we are. It's quite cheap, isn't it? Look, £70 for the whole weekend. That's pretty good. And there are the various people who you'll be meeting and I'll be seeing, and I'm looking forward to that. And you get yourself a UFO Academy t-shirt. Hey, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, and here's some pictures, which I think, keep believing. I will. Yeah, that's perfect. I can't wait for this. I always enjoy these. I've been to so many, and it's great to be going back. Would you believe me if I told you I used to have hair like him? I'm at the bus stop here, just waiting for the coach to London. This is Thornhill Park and Ride. So this is a little outpost here at the edge of Oxford. There's a lot of people getting on here, a whole load of them. Now, it's going to be a bit tricky because I'll be hitting London roughly when the rush hour starts. And so I'll have to run the gauntlet of all that. I'm tempted to walk to Euston, you know? Even though it'll take like an hour and a half, I'm tempted to do it, just so I don't have to use the tube. But it's a short journey. But then I've got to get a train to Watford. And that's going to be packed as well. It's only a 20-minute journey, but you know, in London in the rush hour it feels like 20 hours. So I'll let you know, I'll decide when I get there whether I'm going to run that gauntlet or not. Alright guys, we're heading up into the Stoken Church Gap. It's one of the biggest gorges in the country. To imagine what it might have looked like before it was dug out. It was basically cut a massive gash through the hills to let the M40 motorway through. And you know, I've done an entire video about this. It was 8 years ago. I did an entire short video about that. I can't remember what I called it. It was something new age and sentimental, but it is a question. It's a thought experiment. What do we do with things like that in the post-Illuminati world? And I mean, the readers of Roswell Redeemed will know that in the story, people come along and fill it in. Should we do that or not? Or should we just leave it as it is? You tell me. This way, Wickham. Strange place. If you remember my Disclosure Day video, when I went there. Oh dear, we're slowing down. There used to be a paranormal group there, the Wickham Paranormal Group. Unfortunately, it's disbanded, but I spoke there a few times. Yeah, don't you remember that? I've got some videos of that. It's just over there, very, very, you get a great view over this valley. At least when there's not trees in the way. Okay guys, I'm here in the Heat Island of London. I've got to push my way through this obstacle course and get to Euston Station. I'm going to take the tube. It's recording this, it's not too busy just yet, but it will be soon, so I need to get a move on. This is terrifying, look.
Please use the full length of the platform.
Londoners are just fearless. I'm starting to get those Jacob's Ladder vibes already. Okay, that's where I'm going, King's Langley. It doesn't say which station, platform yet. There was just this platform announcement, and like half the people in this huge crowd just disappeared. Or like, there's about 3 times as many people here like that 2 minutes ago. I think they're all going to Crewe. But I'm going to King's Langley. Okay, I'm on the train at Euston Station. I've just been through feels very much like some kind of relay race. I'll say more later, but every so often an announcer will come on the tannoy, warning customers not to run. They warn them not to run. Warning customers not to run while they're boarding trains. How are you supposed to do anything else? I'll tell you more later. Bad news, guys. There's no Wetherspoons in King's Langley. Alright guys, welcome to King's Langley, a place I've never been before. I'm now going to try and get my way to the Premier Inn. I'm tired and I'm thirsty, and it's been a stressful journey. The coach was alright. Once I got to London, that was it. Oh dear, I mean, it's like travelling on a train from London. I mean, maybe this time of day when you're on a commuter train, they're notoriously difficult. They always have been. I think I'll go this way. They've always been notoriously difficult and stressful, and you get like the Tunbridge Wells people in Hertfordshire, which is where I am now, which is the commuter belt. And but it seems, I don't know, it's always been this bad, where you literally, the concourse in Euston Station is basically a group of several thousand people clustered in front of this giant notice board or a departure board, and the trains, they go green. When the platform was announced, they go green. You're not allowed to go to the platform until the actual train, the service goes green, and then the platform's announced, and you suddenly see thousands, sometimes loads of people disappearing all at once, and they're desperate to get on the train. And it says don't run, as I said earlier. There's these announcements keep coming on. Passengers are reminded, please do not run while you're boarding your train. Alright, so you're reminded not to run, but then you see when the train goes green on the notice board, if you've ever been through a London station, maybe you already know this. I'm crossing over, it's too hot this side. Maybe if you've been on a London service, you know this. If you've been on a London service from a London station, one of these commuter trains, but when it goes green, you have sometimes 7 to 8 minutes to board it, to get to the platform. And there's 18 platforms, I think, at Euston. You've got to find your way to the platform, go through the barrier, get on the train in that time. And God help you if you've got like a double base and a couple of large trunks. I mean, you haven't got a chance. I mean, this is so stressful. And this is why it's like a relay race. It's like being sheep dipped. And I'm glad I don't do this just every day. Just to think that people who do this, who go through this every damn day. A lot of people live in towns like this. Look at these nice posh flats here. These people who live in these flats probably work in London. they probably get on that train every day and go all the way there. So at half seven in the morning, come all the way back half 4, go on the London Underground to get to where they need to. Gee, oh Jesus, holy hell! I mean, what a nightmare. Oh, I'm feeling so tired now. I'm feeling more tired than I should do, actually. I worked this morning, but it was only a couple of jobs. But the journey's tired me out. And I've still got to walk to the Premier Inn. It's further than it looks. So I think it's over here. And I think I'm on the right track. I think we're going to come to a river. God, I'm getting thirsty. I'm getting thirsty to the point where, you know, flowing water from a hose pipe or a stream or a river like this starts to look potable. Yeah. Oh God, I hope I'm going the right way. I'll check. I think I might have taken a wrong turn. There we go. It's quite nice here actually. They've got flowers and things. Nice houses. It's alright. It's turned quite nice. It was a bit bare and stark down by the station. But the town's not bad when you get here. I made it. This is a new Premier Inn I've not been to before. Like I've not been to King's Langley at all before. Yeah. I've just checked in. I'm going straight out again because I need a pint. There's no bar here at this hotel, which is a bit annoying. Apparently there's a place next door I can go. Looks a bit expensive. Now this is weird because I'm getting distinct like backrooms vibes here. There's a bit of there's certainly some kind of liminal space because this is all the two. These are all the two somethings which you expect on the second floor. You have to go up from reception to get here, and then down again. I'm going back the way we came, so we're going up this way. Okay, all right, and then there's some more people there, and you've got to go down again. So I don't quite get. Very back rooms. So you see, you go up some stairs, then you go down some stairs. I'm not sure why that is. Very nice. The Miller and Carter Steakhouse. It's nice. I don't know if I'll eat here. It looks quite expensive, but I'll check the menu out. There's a fish and chip shop down the road. Might go there. You know. But I'm glad to have arrived anyway. It's just been it's been a really not very nice journey. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. I've got 2 FOP on the earphones. Can't complain. I don't know if Julia Ankerhaven and Slavka are here, but they're down at Watford North Primary, and I'm not sure I'm up to travelling. It depends how convenient the bus routes are. I'll wait for them to contact me. Aspel, can't beat it. And it's right next to the hotel. Now, there's something a bit weird about this hotel. I'll have to show you later, but I have to wait till late at night because I have to be a bit discreet. But it's like a maze, and it doesn't all fit together as if they're. I was joking about liminal spaces, but I kind of thinking there might be some. Oh, guys, I was going to sit. I actually went and sat down, had a meal. I was going to sit down and have a meal. They even the waiter showed me to my table and everything. After I had my cider, I thought I'll go in and have. I'll go and have something to eat, you know, like a steak. I got there and it's like. It is pretty expensive. I mean, I don't mind spending that much money, but she put me on this little table with these 2 noisy families on either side of me with kids, and there was no one really I could talk to. And I was looking at the menu, and it was like £28. The steak started like £28, and I thought, no, thank you. And so, well, I didn't actually say I wanted to leave. I just quickly slipped out and just left the. I left the menu on the reception desk and just went. I mean, probably won't even, I doubt they'll notice I've even gone. But the starters were like, the cheapest starters were like mushrooms, like £9. I don't mind having a nice slap-up meal, you know, but not when I'm just sitting on my own, facing a wall. I mean, they put me on this awful table, with these noisy families on either side, facing a bloody wall. No one to talk to. My friends, I texted my friends they're staying in Watford, they haven't got back to me yet. Maybe they just want to be, it's understandable if they just want to be on their own, you know. But what I'm going to do now is I think I'll go to that Chippy. There's a fish and chip shop down the road here. So I'll probably just go there for dinner, and maybe there's a There's a couple of pubs, so I'll probably nip in there as well. But that's a pity. But then I'm happy to go back there. I mean, I'm happy to go back there with a group of people, with friends. You know, it's great. But for a solitary like me, or just to fill my stomach, it's just not really much fun. But it's, you know, it does look, apart from that, it looks like a nice place. Miller and Carter Steakhouse. It looks quite nice. I might even go back there if, you know, if I can find other woo-woos or conference delegates who are actually staying there, you know, with a group of us. That'd be nice. But I think it's fish and chip time for me, or something similar. I'm just going to have a walk down into the town centre, which is a very short walk, 5 minutes, and I'll be there. Yeah, it's the hotel. I'll probably maybe film a little bit later, but there was like a liminal space. What have we got here? Look, oh, King's Langley. It's like a little map of the village. Yeah, it doesn't say where you are, but it says here. There's kind of like you can find your way around there. This old style map. Very nice, very nice. There's your church here, St. King's Langley Methodist Church. Well, no, there's something weird about this hotel, right? Everything is just up and down stairs. I mean, I thought something was a bit weird because I was trying to see, can I get to my room on the second floor, apparently, directly from the reception area, because as I just showed you, when you leave the reception area, you go up some stairs, along a landing, down some stairs, and you're on the second floor, which shouldn't make sense. Why is it not the first floor? And I noticed from reception there was like a doorway where you go in there and it says all the rooms are like one something, so it's the first floor. Great. Sounds like fun. And then I actually I went along the second floor and I saw there was a corridor leading off to the left saying reception, so I went down there. You have to go down some stairs and along, and then up some stairs, and you come out of the door where all the ones are in reception. I'm thinking, this is weird. This is like the back rooms. It's literally like the bloody back rooms. Is that? I know I'm getting in the mood now. I can't help getting a bit ultra woo when I'm at events like this. But I'm starting to think, is there an interdimensional portal in that hotel, or is the hotel based around an interdimensional structure? Do you know what I mean? Or maybe you don't. Maybe you think I'm crazy. But that's kind of how I think. The fish and chips. I think I might try that later. I'm going to have a look and see if I find a pub first. But that is, I think, where I will be dining this evening. Oscar's Pizza is another place you can eat. Let's have a look at the menu. It's certainly cheaper than the steak place. Pizzas, you get various pizzas, pasta, risotto. Pastas of various kinds. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper here, and antipasta as well. Okay, good. You've got to be very careful with antipasta, right? Because if you put it too close to the pasta, they kind of annihilate each other with a big explosion. Anyway, I'll see how it goes with the food. I'm still leaning towards the fish and chips. Look at that! I'm sorry, guys, I'm having a bloke moment. That is one hell of a car. It is a. There we are. It is a Lamborghini. Nice. Yeah. That's a very smart Lambo, that is, yeah. I'm not sort of saw it was, but he's got like 200 miles an hour or something. Wicked, huh? Yeah, very nice. I've got a feeling this is quite a rich place. I mean, this is like the Hertfordshire commuter belt. I think it's quite posh around here, actually. Yeah. Man Cave Barbers. Does it have a games console in there and some beer cans everywhere? Are walk-ins welcome here? Let's have a look. No walk-ins, it's all safe. Pint and cricket. Lovely. This is the Saracen's Head in King's Langley. You can't argue with that. Well, I've just come out of the pub. It's called the Saracen's Head in King's Langley, and it's really nice. It's really nice. It's a really old-fashioned pub. Saracen's Head, a great historical name. Probably the wokies will want to change it. Please don't change it. Yeah, I do recommend this pub. Had a lovely pint, watched some cricket. When did I last watch cricket in a pub? It's fantastic. And there's some really, really cool proverbs. They've got proverbs on the beams, you know, like to do with booze. There's Oscar Wilde's famous quote, you know, work is the work is the curse of the drinking classes, which is the opposite of what the Temperance Society used to say. That's another one, was it? George Best. I spent my money on birds, booze and fast cars. The rest I just squandered. Oh yeah. I drink until beer o'clock, and there was another one, was it? Alcohol, the cause of all the world's problems and its solution. And there was another great one. How did it go? Oh yeah. A barman is basically a pharmacist with a limited inventory. I like that. Lots of witty comments and little drink-related things there. So yeah, that's a nice atmospheric pub. You can see it's old. It's got a low ceiling, wooden beams. You know, I do recommend it if you're ever in this area. Okay, time to eat. Interesting poster here in the chippy. A lovely meal. I have lovely fish and chips in here actually. Langley fish and chips. Apparently the staff told me the place is over 100 years old. And not only that, that picture I showed you, that advert for Pucker Pies, which is a very well-known sort of meat pie brand, that's 30 years old. Which is interesting because it seems to have a distinct alien invasion theme. It might actually, come to think of it, what else happened 30 years ago? That extraordinarily overrated movie, Independence Day, came out. Probably a connection there. What's strange about this Travelodge, this hotel, is the windows are all on normal. They look normal from this side. They're all on the same level. The windows as levels. There's a 1, 2. I mean, it seems quite logical. Obviously, it goes higher up at the other side because it's built on the side of a hill. But this side, which I'm in, this particular wing of the hotel, looks quite normal. The levels seem to be quite level, if you know what I mean. Okay, I'm back at the Miller and Carter's just for another pint now. Something amazing happened though. When I had the Aspel before, I thought it was slightly on the warm side. It turns out it's not chilled properly. And they said, "Oh, did you find that a bit warm last time you had it?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And it was not undrinkable. You know, it's not like tepid, but it was slightly below what you're used to with cider. And they said, "Oh, well, it turns out the barrel wasn't cooled properly." And they poured me another one there. They said, "You can have another one on the house," because I asked for another Aspel. And I said, "Okay, I'll drink the warm side." And it was not really frisky, but they managed to fill it up a little more. Then the barrel was empty. But I did order another cider here, this Recorder Leg Peach and Raspberry, which is actually very nice. It's actually a very nice one, and it is chilled with the glass of ice. And she said, "Oh, I've messed you about so much, you can have this on the house as well." So, yeah, Miller and Carter, they're good people here. Very, very generous. Well guys, I've just been asked to solve a conundrum by some people sitting over there. I won't put the camera on them, but there's a family sitting opposite me, and they asked me a question. They said, "We want you to know if you have the ultimate answer to this amazing question." And I said, "What is it?" And the gentleman here said, "Do you think men are cleverer than women?" he thinks so. He thinks all men are cleverer than all women. I had to be honest and say, no. It's probably about the same. There you go. So there you go. I've been asked to solve a mystery, and I've just done it. All right, guys, this is the room tour. My room has suddenly started making weird noises. Now I don't know how much I need to show you here of this room. It's a room. It's a privilege. It's a Premier Inn room, which is much more privileged and nicer than Travelodge, but still, it's Premier Inn. Got a little gap in the curtains, unfortunately, caused by damage. Here, I don't know if I can actually get these. Maybe I can get those things back in. I don't know. There's a slight gap in the curtains, so I hesitate to strip all my clothes off. I won't show you that. No, that's for OnlyFans. $6.99 a month. I got a nice fan, which is full of dust, and when I switched it on, all the dust came out, which probably hasn't been used for a while. I've got the TV, of course, which is just as well because the aircon doesn't work. Completely blank. Set room temperature, I was pressing that, nothing happens, but there is air coming out of this. Oh, no, it's coming from the bathroom. Now get me towel there, extra towel. And this is the bathroom. There's the toilet as usual. Standard thing. Here's the shower. It's a detachable shower. Caution hot water. Okay, so I can sue them. I can't sue them if the water's too hot, but no warning signs about slipping, so I might take a little Maradona style dive and see if I can get away with it. Yes, Team Argentina will sign me up, definitely. That's it basically. That's my room tour. I've got Nexus and I've got my earphones and stuff like that. Had a nice evening. It's been a nice evening. And it's actually interesting, because today's Friday. I haven't even checked the news to see what's going on. I'm sure some of you are aware, and indeed some of you might be aware of this, and you may be wondering why I haven't said anything on HPANWO TV. Well, I don't talk about every single thing on HPANWO TV. I mean, I don't always have time to do a HPANWO TV video. But if you think about a subject that you think I should be talking about, and you can't see it on HPANWO TV, check out the other HPANWO sites. Check out HPANWO Radio and Voice. In this case, I did make I made a HPANWO TV Voice article about this. Let me just find it for you. Oh, let me just make sure I get my... There we go. I'll see if I can find it for you. Just a moment. Wait there, ladies and gentlemen. Won't be a sec. I should have opened this anyway. Here we go. Okay, so there it is. Come on. Anyway, UFO whistleblowers freed. Okay, you can go there and read that on hpanwo-voice.blogspot.co.uk. Okay, what's it about? Well, some of you may be aware there was a remarkable news story published just a couple of days ago. No doubt this will be a major topic of conversation tomorrow. I'm sure Mark Christopher Lee will be very pleased with himself, because he has been castigated. I'll say more later, but he has been castigated for all kinds of things, predictions he's made, I think on 2 or 3 occasions, and they haven't come true. And he's been treated like a bloody criminal, and the backslappers have given him hell. But President Trump has just issued an executive, it's a directive, not an executive order. It's two very different things. It's not an executive order. And a lot of confusion has come about over the fact that this has been conflated. These two subjects have been conflated. He has issued a directive to federal military agencies, military forces, etc., to waive non-disclosure agreements for people within the UFO legacy program. And he did use those words. He also talked about crash retrievals. He talked about reverse engineering. He actually said, it actually says those words in the directive. It's just one news story. He hasn't even put it on Truth Social yet, and Trump always puts it. And whenever he wants to tell the public something, he puts it on Truth Social. But Fox News did report on this. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, this is it, it's disclosure, because all those guys, David Grush and all his witnesses, can just step up onto GB News and News Nation and just spill the beans. And then there's been about, oh, hang on a minute, a couple of them say, and immediately the backslappers jump on them saying, oh, there you are, you see, it's all a big scam. I mean, Astral posted this stupid tweet. I mean, I'll mention it in the article. Astral posted this ridiculous tweet saying, oh, well, its excuses are starting, and Patrick Converted retweeted him saying, yeah, surprise, surprise, you see, because Patrick's a full-blown backslapper now, unfortunately. I think when I interviewed him at Contact in the Desert last year, I think that was the last... I think it's probably the last interview he ever gave pre-backslapper. It really, really is. So that's what's been happening. Now, the truth of the matter is, we're not going to see some unknown guy we've not heard of before who's been going under aliases on News Nation talking about, like, the alien he pulled out of a wreck in Kingman, Arizona. That's not going to happen. Not yet. This is the first step in a process, but it doesn't mean this does not allow people inside the UFO legacy program to divulge classified information to the public yet. It doesn't. And so Michael Shermer said this. Okay, he tweeted. Let's hear it, guys. Let's hear it, Eric Davis. Let's hear it. I've been trying to contain this by putting polite replies to these people and explaining them how, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. got to see these backslappers need to get out of their own arses. I've been finding myself so intolerant of them lately, primarily because, you know, this is exactly. I feel like they're raising the bar, like the skeptics, because this is exactly the thing the backslappers wanted. Now they've got it and they're not happy. Anyway, to hell with the backslappers. It doesn't matter about them. What's happening now is that these NDA waivers mean that these witnesses they no longer have to just speak in skiffs. They can address Arrow. They can go to Arrow, the Alderman Anomaly Resolution Office, and indeed pursue. I can't remember what that stands for. This is actually the executive branch of the task force that they set up. Remember the Federal Secrets Task Force? This is the executive oversight branch, which means they can go and talk to them as well. But they can't just talk to anyone. That's all the NDA waivers mean. They can talk to these particular people and tell them. They can't tell anyone else. That's coming. Now, see, this is the thing. This is why I actually did say, look, you can't. You know, we're talking about 80 years of multi-level suppression. You multi-layered secrecy. You cannot just undo that with one news story in a few hours. Get real, guys. Get real, you stupid backslappers. Once the fight will go on. This is a breakthrough. It's an important step, but more needs to be done, and more in order to see. Insiders on News Nation, you're gonna have to get the immunity bill passed, which Danny Sheehan is working on now. He's trying to get full immunity now for these people, and only then can this happen. You've got to realise it's. I don't think Patrick and Astral have any legal training. I really don't. If they did, they may realise this. But this is fascinating. It's a fascinating, amazing moment. And it's right on the eve of this conference, and everyone's going to be talking about it tomorrow. Everyone. And it just seems really good timing. It's really, really good timing. And I've got the right T-shirt on. You see, I've got my Just the Beginning T-shirt, and I've got my Roswell hat, which I hung up over there. I'll show you. And so, yeah, that's what's coming tomorrow. I haven't heard back from my friends, but maybe they just want to have fun on their own, which is fair enough. I'll see them tomorrow anyway. But yeah, that's all coming up. I've got a lot of planning to do because I've not been here before, and I still don't know exactly how I'm going to get to the venue. I know the rough distance, and it's not that far. I could probably do it in an hour. I will make sure I leave with plenty of time and walk there. I'm going to walk now. So yeah, definitely. Anyway, time to listen to a bit more Tufop and read some Nexus. Good morning. Yeah, it's actually about 8:15 on Saturday morning. I'm now heading for the venue. Decided to walk it, being an ex-hospital porter. I do this sort of thing. Slight gamble. I don't know exactly how long this is going to take me. I know it's 4 miles. The terrain is unknown. You know, hills, pavements, things like that. So it is a bit of a gamble. I don't want to be late. I really don't want to be late to the I aim to get there about 9:30. An hour and a quarter usually is good enough for 4 miles. I put on a good pace. It's quite cool at the moment. It's really cool. It's going to get very hot later. It's going up to 27 degrees, but it's forecast got to 30 again next week. I swear this is geoengineering. I can't prove it, but that's what I think. But yeah, so I've got to get to the venue. And now the alternative is look at the bus routes. I could have done that, but I've got to get back tonight as well when the buses have probably stopped because I'll go late. Other alternative, taxi. It costs about 15 quid. I could pay it out, but I could save the money actually. I can save the money by walking. That's quite good for me as well. It's good for me to get some early morning exercise. So that's what I've decided to do. I've got my hat, my Roswell hat, got my t-shirt. I've got 3 books to sell. I don't have my own stall, but Julia Ankerhaven has said I can share her stall. I have to offer her a commission, but that's okay. And so I don't have to. She hasn't asked for one, but I'm going to offer her one. And so here we are. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait to see the place. Can't wait to see the people again. Now I know where I've got to go, kind of, because I've got to get to the station first. Once I get to the station, once I'm at the station, I can carry on south, and I've got to go several different directions to get to Johnston, and get to the High Elms Manor. So that's where I'm heading now. Okay, guys, got a bit of a situation. I've now been walking half an hour. I've just looked at the map. I've hardly even dented the journey I've got to do. I think if I walk it, it's going to take me, I probably won't get there till half 10, quarter to 11, after which the conference will have started. See, what I thought 4 miles didn't sound that much, but I think what's happened is that my phone map has measured the distance by the measured the distance as the crow flies, rather than along the roads. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and get a taxi. And to do that, I'm going to probably, best place to do that is to go back to the station. There are some taxis already waiting there. So I will get one, which will take me there. That's going to cost me like 15, 20 quid. But there's no other choice. Shikata ga nai, as the Japanese say. Alright guys, so, well, I can take my time now, because I'm going to get there early now, but early's the better. Probably I won't be the only first early arriver. I'll have a chance to talk to more people, so that'll be absolutely great. Yeah, here we go. Alright, the taxi's dropped me off in High Elms Lane. I'm nearly there now. Very early, but that's cool. I'll take my time. We actually went past it. He didn't seem to know really where it was. He was a guy. I get a bit paranoid with taxi drivers, you know. And as someone who's been ripped off many times, because I'm that kind of. I'm sort of like quite. I'm often not on my guard. In fact, I had quite a interesting experience, like a few days ago. I'll tell you about that another time. But he didn't have a meter, and I thought, how much is this going to cost me? And he got there and he said, £10, please. Oh, that's cheap. That's bloody cheap. Now, you may reckon that's the footpath out of which I used to come when I walked from Watford when I was staying with Dave. Yeah. So that's... do you know I should walk up from Watford? I can't remember which one it was. I've done this a few times. But that's the footpath that leads to Watford. Yeah. Some of you might actually be asking why I'm not staying with Dave again this time. They say, Ben, have you fallen out with Dave or something? No, I haven't fallen out with Dave. But I can't stay with him this time, unfortunately. It's for personal reasons. But I'm not able to stay with him this particular time. Dave and I are still on good terms. He might even be there, actually. I'm not sure. But, so yeah, we're going to head in there, see who's there. Hopefully lots of friends, maybe some enemies. I don't know. I don't have many enemies. When I do make them, I make them for good reason. I mean, I'm not nice to everyone. You know, I have standards. And I'm not scared to get into conflict when I need to, when it's necessary. As you know, I mean, you've seen many examples of that. I haven't seen Gemma for ages. Last time I saw Gemma was at the basis conference before last, and she wasn't actually at the basis conference. If you remember, she wasn't actually at the basis conference that's just gone. And I suppose I'm a bit on edge about that because of the kind of, you know, me and Gemma, we've always been good friends, but there was that kind of unpleasantness in the basis conference before last, which may lead to. I don't know exactly how she's reacted to that. Hopefully okay, but you know, people react to these things differently. Either way, you know, I'm not taking back what I said, and I'm not apologising because I didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, I think I did something very good. I think I did something that was necessary. But hopefully, you know, she might be there. In which case, I hope we're on good terms. I'll go up and say hello, and if she says hello back, that's good. If not, well, not to worry. These things happen. Yeah, this is a crashed UFO. Now, this is not every roadworks is a crashed UFO, you know. Exactly. Yeah. So, but we're nearly there now. We did actually go past the gate, so I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. Hello. Good morning. Here we go. Yeah, they're just digging up the road here, you see. Here we go. This is a sports centre, apparently. It's a school. Oh, hello! Hello, sir! We were just talking about you. How are you? Are you alright? Good to see you too, mate. Oh, thanks, right. I'll meet you up there. I've got a few things to actually, I've got a bit of commentary to do. Okay. But I'll see you up there, buddy. See ya. No worries, mate, no worries. Well, speak of the convenient, there is the man himself, old Dave. Okay, so I'm going to head up here now. And that's a nice house. Look, it would be nice to live in that. Wouldn't it? See you in a bit. Hello. And here we are, guys. We're just entering the gates. Those are the gates there. That's very eyes wide shut, those gates, I think. We're heading down to Hiles Manor, which is a lovely location, as you know. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to see. I know Dave's there. Probably I see quite a few cars parked. There's probably some woo-woos already arriving. Yes, we're all ready to go. Yeah. I can't remember which way do I go now? I think it's that way. Is it left or right? I can't remember. Seems, I know, I think this is something different. No, there it is. There's the house itself. Yes. Hiles Manor. School, yeah, there was, of course, you know, they run a school here as well. Or they did, I don't know if they still do. And here we are, guys. Yes, of course, they never take the Christmas lights down here. There's all on here. Dave's here. There's the auditorium being set up. Hey, it's fun. Oh my God, this is great. And I was just checking. I saw Julia and stuff. I seen Kerry.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm just going to go and play my table.
And there is Julia. Yeah. Hey, Julia.
Hi.
You remember Julia from previous videos? Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Hello.
Hospital for what's frying dignity. And here's the. This I think is going to be the merch room. And out here is the beautiful garden. I mean, it's the loveliest place for a UFO conference ever. Nice. We're about to start. There's been a bit of an upset because Jason P. Moss is not here. He's had to go. He's had a family problem. So I'm just sitting here now, we're just waiting for it all to kick off. But as you can see, we've got a full house here. We had, you know, weather forecast is fantastic. It's a lovely venue. You would expect it, and these seats will fill up over the course of the weekend completely. I wouldn't be surprised if every single ticket is sold. So there's old Touch there. He's joining us.
A lot of torture and a lot of SRA and things like that. Anybody who's younger, like 1980s onwards, went into a little bit more of a modern culture. They tried to make it.
Julia's just done a talk where she gave all kinds of information, which I'll talk about later. I'm just looking at these things here because these are stored as Julia's stall, and we have here basis 2026. There's another one now. It's in November. Oh, it's the new one. John Owen's back. Oh, and there's Maria's stuff. Mysterious Universe. I think this is Penny. I think this is Penny's thing. Penny must be here somewhere. I can't read that. It's strange writing, all italic and stuck together. New World Order. Yeah, this is all Penny's. And then just look at this. I would love to. This would be a good thing to put on my wall. Look. That looks like a good book. No Ordinary Moments, Under the Feeling. The Watchers. Witches Among Us. Aliens of various kinds. Oh, is it like a collage? And here we go. The X-Isles, that's good. Nation's UFO hotspots. And there's the places to go. If you want to. I think that might be Argon's sighting there in Northern Ireland. And 40 best places in the UK to be abducted by aliens. All right. I didn't know there was a good place to be abducted. The Walthamstow Guardian, aliens favour the London life. Oh, something too silly aliens. There you go. There's a foreign man here. someone with
It's Czech language. I
This
know
is
Czech
Czech.
language now. Yes, yes, this woman. Yes, yes, she knows. She knows.
I know the language.
She knows it. She knows it. Yes.
I know the guy.
We got someone from Czechia here.
I am wearing the Czech
His
language.
hat is full disclosure now, so he's got English on his hat. But who is this? Who is this mysterious person?
I'm the stand-in.
Miles.
I'm the stand-in late this afternoon. You've missed Julia Ankerhaven.
Did you give him that? Did you give him that? did you give him? No.
No, I was in Prague. I was in
That's where
Prague.
you got it from.
I went there to get a decent bottle of a decent beer that you won't get in Watford. They're all.
That's true. Yeah,
Did you
that's
get
true.
your case?
So that's Miles is here, and Julia's done a speech.
This is
And we've got a 20-minute break, and then there'll be the next speaker, who's Argon Jones. Here we are. We're here in the garden here.
You're doing a video of it.
Yeah, it's just you don't mind being on.
I don't mind being.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
It's nice to see you again.
And you've been a bit closer, ain't it? Oh,
Is it all right?
crikey.
Okay. We've come out for a little break. We've got like a 20-minute break. Then there's another speaker.
I know.
But yeah, how are you? Are you all right?
Good, yeah, but only catch up with you at the conferences or the SBRs.
Yeah, I'm going to that. I'm going to the one in November.
That's it, I'll be there.
Yeah, because I saw you at the one in London, didn't I?
That's right. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm going to the one in November, yeah.
I'll be.
Alright guys, I'm going to do my usual and say hello to the Godzilla tree. Oh, there's a football line there. That's cool. But this is the big lawn at the back. There we go. It's a football. Right, here we go. England against Argentina. Now, I've never been a football. I'm more like basketball than football. But anyway, there's the goal over there. I was way away from the goal. But here is the Godzilla tree. Just going to have a look at it now. Look at the grass, is so dry. It's really hot now. But mind you, at least we're not actually doing this now. So at least we're not having the conference next week when it's going to be like 30 degrees. It's only about 26 degrees. That's hot enough. But yeah, the inside does get hot on the high elms as well. But here is the good old Godzilla tree. See how it got its name. But it's kind of a tradition. Got to come here and say hello to the Godzilla tree. In these lovely woods, these beautiful grounds here at the High Elms Manor. Yeah, and here it is. And you look back, and there's all those people there. Yeah. I've already seen a couple of people I recognise I haven't said hello to yet. I've got a slight headache. It's only a mild one. It's sort of eased off quite a bit now, but it's still there. I've actually had it literally since I left Oxford, and I don't know why, but there's some connection. I won't show you now, but you know, I've still got irritation on the implant site. But anyway, here's the old Godzilla tree. It's all cedar. I don't know what kind of cedar it is, but anyway. Hello, Mr. Godzilla tree. Great to see you again. Great to see the old Godzilla tree. Yeah. God knows how old it is. It's probably older. It's probably older than the house. These cedars actually can live for millennia. This is probably Johnston Manor. I think dates back. I gave you the history of it last time. It's a couple of 100 years old. Wouldn't be surprised if this tree was here before the house was built. Good old retainer. So, going to head back now and say hello to a few more friends I haven't seen for ages. But it's just it's really nice here. There's a few chemtrails starting up, unfortunately. And it's not just the chemtrails, it's the clouds generally are just weird. I mean, if you look at old paintings like, you know, these old paintings by, I don't know, Constable and Turner, and they often show country scenes with beautiful skies with clouds. But yeah, obviously there were no aeroplanes in those days. You wouldn't get any kind of trails in the sky. But the clouds just look different. These big puffy clouds. You don't get them so often. You get like these steel type clouds, which are just don't look right. They don't look natural. I won't be surprised. I mean, this hot weather we've had now, it's basically been like this almost all since the end of June. This kind of weather we got now, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's geo-engineered. Here we are.
To feel safe sometimes, like as if I was in a tent. Sometimes it felt like someone was standing in the corner. Sometimes it felt like someone was sitting.
Oh, well, Ardalan's just finished his talk, and he talked about the alien on Tanioki Road in Northern Ireland. But I mean, he talked about a lot of other things, which I'll go into later when I analyse the speakers. But one thing I will say, which I want to bring up now, is he has an implant which came out on its own accord, and it seems to be something similar to Morgellons. It's formed these little crystals that are like computer chips. And I wanted to bring this up because, you know, the active point on his body was his upper left arm, which is of course where I have my issue, and it's actually become irritated again. Actually, I can feel last couple of days it's been itching and it's dry and things like that. So I just wonder if that's significant. Miles is talking about me. I'm here with Taj. There's Taj, and Miles is. I can hear Miles talking about me. If you can hear in the background, he's over there talking about me. I'm not gonna point the camera over there. So. Well, nobody has bought a book yet, one of my books yet. But I mean, Julia's stall is doing very well. Is Colin coming today as well?
But he said he's going to try and get here for Masters.
Oh, cool, brilliant. So you might see Colin. Oh, Milesy. Hey! Pride and dignity. There's Miles. With his Crocodile Dundee hat.
So they've got the tall whites that Charles Hall deals with in Nevada. They dress up and cover their faces for the most part, and they have white blonde hair. And they go into the stores in Los.
Here we are. Well, I've been. I was feeling very, very drowsy during that talk. That's not because Kerry was boring, because she's not. But I was just so exhausted. I felt just usual drowsiness kicks in, like it always does. Here's the old gazebo. She might have seen before. Yeah, that's lovely. This. An ivy-clad gazebo. It's not ivy, but it's something else. Ivy-clad gazebo. Where did I get that? I think that's gone to seed. Yeah, it's this nice little spot here. Yeah, but lots of interesting discussions people had. I'll show you the fountain in a minute, but this is where we are. There's a bit of cloud now, which is cooling it down a bit, which is nice. Got John and Dave here. Are you having a good time, guys?
Very good, thank you.
You enjoying yourself, having fun?
Very good.
Oh, good. Any highlights so far? Have we come to the afternoon of the first day?
I've just been soaking it all up, really. I sort of hide in the corner and let it all wash over me, and let my antenna sort of pick up.
That's the best way to do it, yeah.
I don't memorise every detail.
I've been careful to I'm not want to sit too close to the front, because if I have to fall asleep, everyone will see me, the speaker will see me and stuff. Yeah.
Kerry has a lot of interesting stuff, but you got to take everything with a pinch of salt. Really.
Well, I don't see Kerry's always interesting to talk to. What she talked about was really, really cool. I mean, I don't know 100% sure if it's what she says is absolutely correct, but I mean, it could be, and I mean, I do follow her work very closely, because
it does provokes the thought.
It certainly does, yes.
Everybody has got a different opinion, a different belief.
Yeah.
But we're all sort of like-minded individuals that the mind is still open.
Exactly, yeah.
It's better than switched off.
That's a nice thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Have thoughts. At least your mind's ticking over.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I've already heard a lot here I don't agree with. I'll no doubt hear a lot more, but I think these are decent people, and everyone looks
veterans of conferences.
Exactly, and we come here, have fun, meet each other. Yeah, but I hope I go to as many of these as I can, and I'm glad you joined us today. You here all weekend?
Yes.
Good job, yeah.
Makes a change, but yeah, every year, obviously apart from the COVID, it's been going since 2009.
So it's great.
Yeah.
Good to see some old friends.
I think I've been to nearly all of them. How's things at Bufora?
Very good,
John?
yeah. Cool. Always busy. Before always busy. Still the largest organisation in the UK of its kind. Great volunteers. 'Cause it's been going since 1962. Always volunteers.
Yeah.
So we'd like to put on events, but it's getting the funds to do it because we're a voluntary organisation, and we're limited on funds. So we'd like to promote the subject matter and hold conferences. We just can't do it.
It's expensive, yeah. I went to your conference in 2012. I did a big report on it. I wrote a report on your conference in 2012. It was very good. I enjoyed that. That was in London. Yeah, it was really, really
very
cool.
Very good, actually.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think Nick Pope spoke on that day.
He did.
Sure he did.
He was there.
Sadly, he's passed on April 6th this year. Great loss to the subject matter.
Yeah,
it's a lovely guy. And all the years I've known him, probably since the late 90s, I've never heard him speak ill of anybody. He was a gentleman.
He was really part of the furniture, wasn't he? I mean, it's like it's just not.
It's quite well brought up.
UFO is just not the same. The UFO world is not the same without him, and sadly missed.
I remember Graham Birch was here at the conference once when he was speaking, and that was the story I was going to tell. I always remember. It was a full house, you know, and he was talking, and he had a glass of water, and he'd go, he needed a sip of water, so he'd go like that, and then he'd carry on talking. He wouldn't sip it, he'd pick it up, and then carry on, put it down and carry on, and then he'd do it again, and just before it got to his lips, he'd put it down and carry on talking.
Building up tension.
He did that several times. Then finally, after about 20 minutes of doing that, he picked it up, and we sort of, you know, praying for him to take a drink at last, and then he did. He took a drink, and everyone went.
Oh yeah. You all right? You having a good time, Taj? You are. Yeah. Oh, you know Taj. He's a regular too. Yeah. So we all get together. It's like a reunion of all the characters you know on HPANWO TV. Yeah, definitely. Well, enjoy the rest of the weekend, guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Getting ready now, and the next one up is old Milesy. Yeah, there he is.
So the point is, even with the 3 dimension, even with the physics of creating electrical power, they've screwed the equations, they've screwed the mathematics. They call certain terms in electrical power radio, like how a radio tunes into a radio frequency. You get one, you tune it all.
Yeah, and you've got to remember, I mean, things are different now.
That's John Leonard Wilson. He's turned up. He's doing a Skywatch later, so really, really good to get his. Hope we'll be around for that because that's really, really amazing. But now the speakers are over for the day, so we're just going to have a chat with the others now on the terrace. I was going to say balcony, terrace. That's really, really cool. Let's see, has anyone bought any of my books? Not yet, but they will do. I better wrap these up. Okay, this is... Welcome to St Albans. I don't think I've ever taken you here before. But I wasn't expecting to come here, but Julia had a brilliant idea. It's HPANWO, and with Slavka as well, a brilliant idea. Well, it was Miles' idea, but we're not even sure this is the place. But it's called Thai Square, and we're going to have a dinner in there apparently. It's this lovely sort of Tudor. Oh, it's really old. It's like an old Tudor place, and so we're going to go in there in a minute with some of our friends. It's a lovely evening.
All right, you gave me the answer.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. That is my beer, £5 for that. There's a Buddha over there, and there's an Indian thing. There's a Shiva there, and behind me is a building. Now Raf thought that was a Vimana. I think it's just a normal building, but it could be a Vimana. But anyway, we're in this. It's a really nice restaurant. It really is, and I've got this in my starter. Okay, there's a nice little piece of artwork there. I'm in an Uber now with Julia. We're just going back. I'm going to go to the High Elms, but Julia's going back to the hotel. But we just heard a guy playing an old Duran Duran number. Anyone younger than me is going to say, who? Well, it's... Anyone younger than me is saying, who? Duran Duran, yeah. But that was actually quite a good cover version there. This is St Albans, a place... I don't think I've been here before. I might have been there once to the cathedral, I think, if I remember rightly. But Julia and I are now heading back.
Hi guys.
Yeah, so yeah, we've had a good day, haven't we?
We've had a fantastic day. I did a talk today, which was unexpected. To do a talk for Project Camelot was amazing. Yeah.
And yes, right. I mean now, yeah, it's been pretty cool. We had a nice meal, so I'm going to go to the Skywatch. And here we are, back at High Elms Manor. It's nearly 9 PM now, and it's getting dark, so the Skywatch should commence soon. And that's going to be fun, actually, because, goodness me, there's going to be a lot of strange... Hopefully there'll be a lot of strange things. John down in Walton has an amazing knack, actually, of picking things up. I mean, if you see his YouTube channel, just look at the videos he's made. It's incredible. Yeah. So here we are, ladies and gents. It'll be fun. Back again. And the meal was all right. I mean, to be honest, I'm not a fan of Thai food. That had a red curry, and it's like, all right, but... And it was not that good. It wasn't especially expensive, but it's a bit creamy. I much prefer Indian. And the beer was nice. The Chang beer, this Thai beer. Except it's £5 for a little bottle. I mean, what? You get the same price. You get these great big 660 Kingfishers, and in that lovely place we went to with Miles. Okay, here we are, guys.
We're seeing an increase in crime, so people just coming in, taking stuff.
Well, it's all right now.
It's like property-wise, we're not out.
It's quite cool, actually, because we've got like, there's not much cloud. There's a bit of light cloud, but not a lot. So. Hopefully it will stay like, it'll stay clear.
Exactly.
Foxes. Not this, that's it. Hello. Excuse me, doggy. Hello. There is a very, very friendly fox. Hello there, his name's Rusty. Hello, Rusty, how are you? Hello, mate. That's that friendly fox. I've seen you a few times, I don't know if it's the same fox. It's a fox. It's all getting a bit Alfred Hitchcock now. As he's... What they're up to. It's getting dark soon. Can't see anything strange up there yet. At this time of night, the dry grass takes on a lovely brown, reddish brown hue. It's very nice. Got a drink there. So the fox is gone now, Rusty the fox. But, it's looking nice. Got they lit up the fountain there. It's really cool. So yeah, nice. Miles is here now.
Was broad daylight. Remember, I think you found it. And the Google car had a UFO in it.
What? Really?
Yeah. The Google car.
Seriously?
Had a UFO in it. Right? So we had to celebrate this. And guess what? Google reportage that train.
Oh, it's weird, isn't it?
So if you go on Google Maps, it's blue sky, blue sky, blue sky, blue sky.
It's a T-shirt.
And then suddenly they go to an overcast day.
Oh, that's weird.
That shot was replaced.
That's weird.
Anyone screenshot?
Yeah, you know, Miles, they did the same thing for S4. Yeah, for the S4 base. It was in the latest Bob Lazar movie. The S4 base has been completely replaced on Google Earth. Yeah, yeah, but it's been gone now. It's gone. And why did they replace it? If there's nothing strange there, why have they replaced it? You know, it's really weird. And funny thing is, there was a road that goes. Andrew Burlington spotted it. There's a road that goes there, and yeah, that's been gone as well. And yeah. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Definitely, you can see them. Yeah. So there is these cover-ups. So yeah, if these cover-ups happen, you've got to ask, well, why is it? If there's just nothing to see, nothing to see. Has got a new T-shirt on.
Well, the point is, really, it needs to have Selena.
Fun. Oh, Selena got it for you. Oh, no.
She bought this for me. It's
nice.
in Jamaican colours.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, it's like a hat, isn't it? It's like a Rastafarian hat. Very good. Yeah. That's it.
Like, what was
There's a plane, yeah. It's a plane. I saw a flashing white light over there, but it's just a busy air. There's another one there.
No, I know all the planes.
Yeah.
But I can tell you when they're not planes.
Yeah. Well, once you get used to it,
over here.
once you get used to like looking at the sky, you get to spot.
Yeah,
you learn the difference.
Right, that could be a satellite, but that's more likely to be something.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. I see it. There's something. I need to get out of the light. There's something up there. Hang on. I need my glasses. Where's my glasses? Hang on a sec. I'm just going to get me. Where's my bag? Here's my bag.
We went to that prop circle, by the way.
I need my glasses.
That was really weird.
So we've got sin.
Oh, what's the name of the hill? White. Oh, the last one. That's old.
Just a sec, put my glasses on, guys. I can see it now. I've got my glasses on. I can see them moving. Is that a moving star? Is that...
Where are you looking at, Ben?
There's an object there. She's going behind the clouds. Yeah. Wow, yeah. There's some real stars. It's funny, it's like the clouds are moving slightly. There it is. There, see? Just come out. It's just there. It's just.
Oh,
do you see it? Yeah.
Satellite, maybe?
It depends. Is it straight? Is it going straight? I thought, God, I can't get a bloody. Can't get the friggin'.
It is going straight.
Is it? Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I think that's a satellite, guys. Yeah, satellite probably. Straight, going straight. Yeah, but this. Oh wow, look.
There have been very odd reality anomalies.
Oh wow. As you can see here, John has his camera set up. Anything yet, John?
Yeah.
You caught something?
So by the time you get to the top, it's night time.
You watch the sunset, then they take you to the top, and then they...
Do subscribe to John Leonard Wilson on YouTube to get these, or on Facebook to see the images, these images.
It's a great...
There's a plane and there's John. Yeah.
You'll be able to do that with this, you see. Eventually, when you've got its phone's on there, okay. You'll be, it's all clamped on. You won't have to worry. Then you can just point it round wherever you want. Yeah. But oh, it is right, son.
There's the moon over there. The moon's coming up. Hey, John, you captured these orbs going around a plane, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, I did, John.
Oh yeah.
I've sent you the link.
Oh, thank. I'll check that out because I'll pass it on to Ashton because Ashton Forbes will be really interested in that, mate. As soon as when I get home and I open my Facebook, I'll do that. All right. Yeah. Cool. I think Andy's out on the field now, having fun over there. Yeah. Is that a spot?
It's definitely rising. Yeah, it is.
There's the moon rising over there. There's like a white spot in the middle of the ground, isn't there? Got this white spot. Here we go. Just take a walk down here. It's really, really nice. It's like, I think Dan Andy's gone for a walk. There's like a bright spot here. I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna. You can see it best when the lights are off. But I can see it here now. There's like a. I think it might just be the football actually. I'm just gonna have a look. Here it is. Can you see it? Oh, it's a. Oh, it's the bowl of water for the fox. Oh, right. That explains it. There's another one here. There's another bright spot. That's the football. Let's kick it back now. There we go. Bend it like Beckham. It looks nice at night. This light off, lights off, light on. How about this, guys? How about this? Okay. Breaking news. I just got back into the hotel. Taj gave me a lift, which was nice. And it says here, this is in the bulletinhouse.house.gov. This is from the United States House Calls of Congress House of Representatives. I'll switch this off. This is my. I've got the fan on. Don't know how much you can hear. Hopefully, it's not messing with the mic. The House today adopted Congressman Eric Burleson's Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act as an amendment to the fiscal year 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. This is basically the amendment that Chuck Schumer has been trying to get through the House for the last 3 years and failed. The fiscal year 2027 NDAA. If enacted, the amendment would establish a statutory framework for preserving, reviewing and publicly disclosing unidentified anomalous phenomena records. It would create a permanent UAP records collection at the National Archives, establish an independent UAP research records review board, and extend disclosure requirements to covered government contractors. That's something, is it? So this is you couldn't get around that loophole of using private defence contractors anymore. This is exactly what this is exactly what the two mics wanted removed from the bill. This is exactly one of the things they wanted stripped from the bill, to remove it of any potency at all. They just wanted to remove its teeth entirely with these various sub-amendments and counter-amendments. So by bolstering in law authorities for carrying out disclosure, it would support President Trump's presidential unsealing and reporting system for UAP encounters, PURSUE. So that's what it stands for, right? This is PURSUE is the people, as I said yesterday, PURSUE is the organisation to which the insiders of the legacy programme who've had their NDA waived can talk to. Doesn't mean, as I said before, it doesn't mean they can just spout everything on the media now, contrary to what the backslappers and the sceptics are complaining about. It means that they can talk to Arrow, they can talk to the PURSUE. Okay. And quote here, the government belongs to the American people, Burleson said. For too long, UAP records have remained scattered across agencies and outside meaningful oversight. This amendment would create an independent review process to preserve these records, review them, and make them available to the public pursuant to law. The amendment would require federal agencies to identify, organise, preserve and transmit covered UAP records to the National Archives, in other words, publicise them, and a statutory timeline. It would also establish an independent Senate-confirmed UAP Records Review Board with subpoena authority to review records, hear testimony, and determine whether information should remain protected under standards established by law. Yes, see. So it's not. This is just simply the passing of this bill will not be the end of the process, but it's a massive step along the way. It doesn't mean that everything can be published at once. It just means that we are a step towards that, the process to begin assessing, reviewing, filtering, amending, declassifying these documents will begin. Fiscal year 2027 National Defence Authorization Act now moves to the Senate for consideration. Okay, so that's the next step. It has to go to the US Senate. And just like we have the House of Lords here in the country, it's a bicameral system. But my goodness me, it appears that this is the kind of legislation, in one form or another, that the pro-disclosure people in Congress have been trying to drag through the houses for the last, like I say, for 3 whole years. It's failed. This is the 4th year, and it's worked. It's passed the first test. There'll be more tests to come, but goodness me, this is a really, really important breakthrough, and it happened today while this conference was in progress, so that's quite something. I'm sure that everyone is going to be talking about this tomorrow, so I'm going to have to get to bed now, but I can't wait to hear what happens as a result of this. That's why I'm easy like Sunday morning. There goes another copyright strike. I am here, it is Sunday morning. It's 8 o'clock and I'm heading for the venue now. I'm going to attempt the walk this morning because I used directions on my phone. Turns out it takes according to them, it takes an hour and a half. That's an hour and a quarter for an ex-hospital porter. So that was basically average walking speed, obviously. Now, that meant that if I hadn't got the taxi yesterday, I would have got there in time, but only just. Literally with just maybe 10 minutes to spare, which is not good enough. So it's a good job I did get the taxi yesterday. This morning I'm going to walk because I've left more time. I should get there about 9:30, or maybe just slightly before. We'll see. Anyway, I've got the directions, and gonna head there that way. I'm going to put Toothop on the earphones in a minute, so keep me entertained on the long journey. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's day 2 of this conference is coming up. The Thai curry went down last night, alright, which is just as well, because the last time I had Thai curry was long ago, actually in 2000. I remember very well because I was in Australia, so staying with my brother, and I threw up all night and shit myself the next day. So I haven't done that, so good. Doesn't mean I particularly like Thai curry, I don't. I hope we have an Indian tonight, it's my deal. But anyway, this is King's Langley here, just left the hotel. Excited what's going to happen today. Interesting array of speakers. There's Colin speaking, Maria Wheatley's up first, Simon Parks is going to raise the roof at the end, there's someone else in between, I can't remember who that is. I would have said so, I said so earlier in the video, but who it was, unless they change the schedule again, which has happened through no fault of Kerry's. We've had to change the schedule. But yeah, we got like a... should be interesting. And I get to see my friends again. Jane Lee Miller's not going to be there, unfortunately. She can't make it. But Edwin from FSR, he should be there. Be interesting to speak to him. Taj will be there. Taj gave me a lift home last night. So back to the hotel from the venue, which is cool. We had a nice discussion. It's always cool with Taj. He's a quiet guy, but when you sort of get him on in a like company he feels comfortable with, you know, he's very chatting and very amenable. You know, we can have interesting conversations. So that was cool. I'm grateful to Taj. Otherwise, I'd probably had to do this walk last night. This wouldn't have been ideal, although I'd have been okay with it. I just got home a bit later. And I had the mother of all sleeps last night. I really slept well. So if I do drop off sleep and nod off in the auditorium, I can't blame lack of sleep anymore. Anyway, yeah, that's a good exciting because we have, God knows what's going to happen today, but I've got a feeling it's going to come up what I talked about last night, the final passing of the NDAA. It's happened. It's finally happened. And of course we have this NDA waiver from Trump as well, which just means that whistleblowers can now talk to Arrow and to the Pursue, which is absolutely great. This is progress. I mean, the backslappers are like going, oh, I want it all, I want it all, I want it all, and I want it now. Second copyright strike. But truth of the matter is, you don't get it all now, backslappers. Be patient. Stop acting like a bunch of spoiled kids. But it's exciting what this means. And you know what? Of course, they say, Ben, you're British and this is all American. Why do you keep talking about it? You're not American. No. The reason I keep talking about it is because the United States is currently leading the world in this disclosure movement. For whatever reason, it seems to be the only major power in the world that has actually taken practical steps to do something about it. I'm just going to put some rubbish away. You know me, I collect recycling waste and I put them in recycling bins. Here we go. So I'll just do that now. But bear with me. Lorry there. Put that in there. These are all stuff from my hotel, and there's a paper plate from yesterday. There we go. This is one of my weird obsessions, by the way. You know, anyone who knows me knows I have strange habits. This is one of them. I have to collect all the recycling waste and I have to get rid of it because there's nowhere in the hotel to get rid of it, and there's not. I don't trust them to do it, so I'll do it myself. I think of all the trees you save being cut down. You know, that's just the way I am. And you know, there's a lot of people who want to do the same thing as me, but they go, oh no, but it's weird. What will people think of me? What will they think of me? What, you know, will they laugh at me? Oh dear. But you know, I've passed caring about that long ago. It's absolute fait accompli. People do that anyway. Alright. Morning doggies. Right. And so, like I said, the US is putting the rest of the world to shame when it comes to UFO disclosure. There was hope for Britain. We could do the same in Britain. I'd like that, being a patriot. I would like to see that happen. Steps were taken a long time ago in the sort of 70s and 80s with Timothy Good's mate, Lord Hill Norton. But he died long ago. And no one has come up to replace him. So, I mean, I'd like to say to the whole Britain, obviously, I don't think it's likely because Andy Burnham's such a tosser. In fact, all the Prime Ministers we've had are tosser. Liz Truss isn't bad. Liz Truss, I think, was reasonably decent, which is why they got rid of her very quickly. Basically, Britain is in such a crisis politically. It has been for the last decade. It's been in an absolute political turmoil. We've had only a handful of we've had like 10 prime ministers or so. Only 2 of them have been elected or something ridiculous like that. That's, as I think Steve Bassett would say, this is not the waters where you want to launch this ship. Well, I mean, I don't care. I mean, if you wait forever for calm waters, you could be waiting forever. So I think we should get on with it. We should do the same. Don't let the Yanks beat us on this. Just because we could do better in the World Cup doesn't mean we should let them rest on our laurels. So that's the next step, I think. I think the next step is for Britain to just emulate this. We have our own equivalents. We could set up our own equivalent of Arrow and Pursue. We've probably got our own Lou Elizondo somewhere. We've got loads of people who pretend to be him, you know, the blaggers. But we want someone like who really is, and things like that. So that's what I'm hoping for. And there's other countries, of course, in whichever country you're in. I mean, we live in, things are more complicated than they were in the Cold War. We now have a multipolar world where, rather than having the two sides united behind the USSR and the USA, we have a cluster of different associations like BRICS and things like that. And we have like super states like the European Union, which Britain's now thankfully out of. And there are also other major power poles such as India and China. The US is still a major player in this post. The US has not declined to the point, it's not like got down and out US. The US is still a major player in the world, in this multipolar world. And there's a number of, all these poles have like clusters of smaller countries around them. So it's a complicated situation, but it can be done. It may even be easier. Who knows, there may be some way that makes it easier. For example, you know, my money's on Russia. I think Russia is the best hope now. Even with these two latest moves, I mean, I think Russia still has a chance of getting in there first. So, go for it. Go for it, Comrade Putin. Go for it. You know, funnily enough, I mean, the term UFO czar is like an American thing, but of course the word Tsar is Russian. It refers to the imperial leader, the imperial royal leader of Russia, which for many centuries they ruled Russia. Ended very brutally in 1918 in the cellar in Yekaterinburg when the Bolsheviks shot the last Tsar and his family. But let's bring them back. Bring back the Tsar. Bring back Putin as the Tsar. And he could be the real UFO czar. I'm rambling. Let's get on with it. Right, you'll buy flats here from Profit and Holt estate agents. Profit and Holt sounds more like the name of a financial broker, but there you go. It's actually, you know, it's actually quite cool today, as you can see, believe it or not. It's cloudy. See, even slight rain, very, very light rain. So that's quite a relief actually, because it's going to get hot again next week. But just for a couple of days, or just for today maybe, we have some respite, which is good. Road here with a rather sinister name, Gallows Hill Lane. Yes, leading to Abbots Langley. In those days, kings and abbots lived close to each other. Pleased to say there's a little footpath through here. This is good. We're making good time actually. I'm going to be there probably about 9:30 as I predicted. And so we're going through this nice little footpath. Cuts the corner, which is really cool. Yeah. And it's rained a little bit. I just didn't care. I let the rain fall on me and it was really lovely. I've missed the rain. That's very strange. The public footpath between Woodside Road and High Elms Lane, if you're going this way, is 280 yards. If you're going the other way, back to Woodside Road, it's 610 yards. What? Is there some kind of... is there some other, like, what's the word? Oh, there's no pavement here. So I don't think it's a busy road. Is there some kind of dimensional shift here? A bit like in my hotel? Weird. Anyway, I'm here. Let's just hope it's in the same universe. I hope it's not... I'm not going to suddenly find Looney Tunes as Looney Tunes again. There's a kind of pavement stroke bike path beside that road, which I'm going to go on. At some point it comes up near the manor, so I can't be far from the manor now. We're walking along the road in the direction to it. I just make sure I don't go past it. when it's on the other side of these trees. I'm using my mobile phone maps for that. Here is the Eyes Wide Shut place. We've made it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. This car's coming. Dun, 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 dun. Here we are. Hello, Taj.
Linking in the Prague HAP, the Prague Museum as it's called today, the Alchemy House as it's known online, to Rudolf II's castle, following exactly the triangle. They were now...
Very interesting discussion with Maria Wheatley. Really, really good. Lots of new stuff in there she's not talked about before. I've heard her talk about. I learnt a lot, a hell of a lot. I'll have a lot to say about it later when I do the speaker reviews. Yeah, so it's a high energy start to the second day of this conference, and I'm looking forward to what's coming next.
The film man.
Oh yes, I'm doing my little
We're
video.
all going to be famous.
Well, maybe. Unless I think you probably already are, as far as MI6 is concerned.
You never know. They're up there. Yeah.
It's lovely here, isn't it? It's just beautiful. There's a little break between the speakers after Maria Wheatley, and we've got Mark Christopher Lee. We've got a very maligned individual, and maligned and misunderstood. The backslappers, bane of the backslappers. Oh, but Trump didn't do his speech when you said he would. Oh, well, you are naughty, Mark. Yes. One of the signs of backslappers, actually, is they just go on and on about other people's mistakes. Mark was actually, when he first came out with his first prediction about the disclosure speech, and he then corrected himself, and he was very mature and very courageous about it. He did a full mea culpa, and Patrick Metty just went on, and he made 2 more videos about it after that. I actually tweeted at Patrick, and I said, "Come on, Patrick, look, the guy's apologised. You know, I think he's apologised enough now. Could you please move on?" He didn't reply to me, but yeah. Yeah, Mark was treated very badly. He was treated very disappointed with the backslappers about how they treated Mark. I'm looking forward to hearing his speech. What's his t-shirt today? Oh, he's got his conspiracy theorist t-shirt. Yes, nothing more. Yeah, exactly, Miles. That's another good t-shirt you got. Hello, Slapka.
It's a wonderful t-shirt.
It is.
Hi, Ben.
How are you doing?
Great.
As a youngster, you felt you mentioned about this blue please. Yeah. The experience. Also, it's about the feeling of something.
I remember being a kid and knowing that I understood everything, and that slowly sort of dissolved as I got older, and now, yeah, it's sort of coming back through different knowledge routes, but yeah. Trying to get higher, I know, I want to get away from the Gregs. Hello?
I just wanted to ask a bit more about...
Hello, and as you can see, I have sold a book, which is brilliant. Now, Kolbahar here has his eye for us. How are you, Colin? All right?
I'm all right, thank you.
You all ready for your talk next?
Yeah, I'll be up next. Resurrecting the alien autopsy.
Ah, is that what you're going to discuss? Oh, good.
It says it's back in the news, so Sky did a documentary recently called Alien Autopsy Scandal, 3-part show. It came out a few weeks ago, so...
Is it on Freeview yet, or is it still behind the paywall?
No, I think you might have to pay, unfortunately, either... You can go Now TV. I think I had to pay, because I'm not a member of Sky, I had to pay £8 a month. It's not too bad for Now TV, so you can watch it on Now TV. Yeah, it's alright. It's better than the last documentary they did with Eamon Holmes in 2006, but that's not saying much. It's a very low bar. I'd give that one as a disinformation film, and this one I'd give a few more, maybe I don't know, 3 or 4. But I'm going to do a review in my group as well.
Did they include your scene in it?
Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, I think it was edited down. My actual interview was here, funny enough, in that room over there.
I remember the end of that
room. That room.
Yeah.
We filmed in there, and it lasted about an hour and 20 minutes. And I think if you watch my bit on video, it lasts about just under 3 minutes.
No,
it's always the way.
They edit things down. Yeah, they edit things down.
Yeah, I think if you even watch it, it kind of implies that this, that it almost says like it's my house. Which it clearly is. I'd love to live here, but I couldn't afford
That's what people think. So, anyone news from the litigious magical one?
I'm not really allowed to talk about anything to do with that, and I certainly won't be talking about any of that in my talk today, as per my legal advice. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, but things are ongoing, and it's just an opportunity really, just to sort of. But information's already out there. I'm not saying anything that's not really. Other than when I went to the premiere, I did go to the premiere, and a few interesting things happened there.
Well, good. I hope. I know you can't talk about it, but I wish you luck with that, and I hope the judge tells him to shove his magic wand where the eye of Providence cannot see. Thanks very much, Colin. Break a leg for later, mate.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with one of our speakers, Mark Christopher Lee. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? It's good to see you. I mean, I know you quite well online, and we've talked a lot online. It's great to meet you at last, because we've spoken for so long. And you're quite well known, and you're quite infamous in this world at the moment, aren't you? Because
that's one word.
I've been one of the people who actually defended you, because I think a lot of people were very unfair to you. But what was that all about? Is it to do with Trump's speech?
Well, it's definitely a speech. It's being confirmed by multiple sources now, so there is a speech. I thought it was coming. I was told it was coming on July the 8th. Obviously, that didn't happen. But I'm pretty sure it's definitely going to come. The proviso with this is that we will get the truth, like I was talking about today. What will be said in that speech might be a watered down version of the truth, I suspect. So yeah, there's definitely a speech. I know there is. So
can you tell us who you heard it from, or is that private? Because it's understandable if it's private.
Sorry.
It's understandable. It's all right.
Forgotten the guy.
Sometimes people say things to me, and they say, Ben, it's like this guy Jack I told you about. I could never tell you what his real name is. Well, he didn't actually tell me his real name, but yeah, it's.
The main source, the one I'm revealing, is David Broadwell. He was the producer of. Which one was it? Beyond Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
He was also the publisher of The Eye of God by Chris Bledsoe, whatever it was called, that book that he did. That's the guy, David Broadwell. And the issue I have with this, Ben, is that David Broadwell was phoning up and talking to various UFO researchers, myself included. I'm the only one that went public with this knowledge. Jesse Michaels, American Alchemy, he knew that because he tried to verify it with me, but I wouldn't at the time because I told David I wouldn't. But he knew that David Broadwell was the source. But no one else went public. So I've got an issue with that. Obviously, I've taken the heat for it. Maybe I shouldn't have talked about a date, I guess, with hindsight.
Well, we all make mistakes, and you admitted your mistake, and I actually said to several people, because some people kept going on and on about it afterwards, and I said, just leave him alone, all right? That was perfect. But it's whether leaving aside dates. I'm convinced also there's a speech. I think there's a speech too.
Okay, so the date is wrong. I made a mistake there. I have never said to people that I'm going to release all evidence that I've got of UFOs and aliens and things that people like Jeremy Corbell said he would do, and I've backtracked on that.
Yeah,
because it doesn't exist. I haven't said anything that's not.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy might have said that off the spur of the moment. He sometimes brags. He's quite a blagger, Jeremy. I'm not against him. I think some of the things he does is good, but he's a bit of a blagger. But I think that there is going to. What comes out though will be. This idea that somehow it's going to be like the film Disclosure Day, where suddenly everything's released all at once in a catastrophic way. I don't think that's very likely. I think what we'll get is we know what we're going to get first of all. The whistleblowers will start talking to the Pursue group.
This is what we want with the NDA's being waived now, and that was passed last night, wasn't it? So hopefully we'll see these people come forward and think, okay, I can now testify, no one's going to come against me, I'm not going to face prosecution. That's what we want to see. If it doesn't happen, then there's other reasons for that. But.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen is I think there will be a lot of, like Michael Shermer was saying, he was like Eric Davis is saying, okay, tell us what you know now, all of it. And I actually replied to Sherman and I said, look, it's 80 years of multi-layered suppression. You can't expect people just to come on. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of meetings with Arrow and Pursue. These whistleblowers will be speaking to these institutions only and in confidential way, outside the skiff, but still in confidence. And then maybe there'll be something revealed.
Because the reality is, once this information is revealed, you're going to realise that it was suppressed and they've used force and other things to suppress this information.
Exactly.
And that's going to open up another can of worms in terms of who was actually silenced.
And how and why, and what laws were broken.
Because
I mean,
they probably did. I mean, I wouldn't trust the CIA or FBI to, you know,
we know that they take people out. I mean, we know they kill people. I mean, they've killed. The CIA have killed all kinds of people, including national leaders.
Well, probably JFK as well.
There's a lot they haven't admitted to yet, but they will.
I mean, so that's another thing. I mean, Trump doesn't care, I guess, a little bit. It's all his pursuit against the deep state, whatever that is. So, you know, I guess that's the one thing we've got on our side is that Trump is on a mission to, you know, cement his legacy.
Well, I hope this is the way to do it. I think. I mean, he's I've always liked him. I mean, I think he's far from perfect. He's made a lot of mistakes, but this is a way to redeem himself. And this would be just so fantastic because, obviously, like again, I'm on my guard against like psychological operations and things. Like, hello, Guy. How you doing? It's a guy who's just speech. It's all right. You're a part of this team too, Guy.
Are you in the middle of an interview?
Oh yeah, just won't be a sec. Yeah, you see, because won't be a sec. But you see, like I suppose, like in my book, my book was fiction. But the first book in the trilogy, there's basically the first. Sorry for the spoiler, but the original disclosures then becomes a fake disclosure.
Right, yeah.
And is used, some of the government then just exploit it for their own purposes, you know what I mean? And I mean, that concern that might have for real. That's why I include that in the book, that's why I include it in the story.
Yeah, the US government, the CIA, has always had a history of misinformation. And I was just chatting to someone last night about Lou Elizondo. A bit a controversial character, but then me and a few other UK researchers interviewed Richard Doty on TikTok, did a live. Richard Doty...
Even more controversial.
yeah, precisely. But Richard Doty claimed that Lou Elizondo tried to hire Doty fairly recently
I heard about that,
to spread misinformation. Richard Doty didn't realise that we were recording the live because he tried to backtrack saying, oh, AI manipulated the interview. No, we didn't.
Well,
so he tried to backtrack. It was a good scoop.
That's an exclusive.
I mean, either Richard Doty is lying or for some reason trying to spread more disinformation, or he's correct and Lou Elizondo is, because his background, Lou Elizondo is in.
Could be. I mean,
I'm not modelling people and spreading, you know what I mean?
He does. I mean, I wouldn't trust Richard Doty as far as I could throw him. I said this actually when the Awakening conference in Blackpool. I reviewed it. I went there and reviewed it, and I said that I wouldn't have put him on the platform personally. But I mean, I don't believe in censorship, and if someone wants to do that, that's fine. But I mean, I wouldn't trust him with his track record.
What annoys me slightly is that he gets a lot of information out on Gaia.
Yeah.
Why Gaia being so? Gaia is supposed to be all for positive stuff, but they've got the archetype disinformation agent who's involved in possibly the Paul Benevit's case.
Well, he admitted it. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, he's a self-confessed disinformator. There's no doubt. As for Elizondo, I mean, I think Elizondo is doing something similar. I mean, I don't believe. See, people say, well, Elizondo's evil and stuff. I don't believe he's evil, but I believe he's manipulating people, and he's doing it in a way which I don't approve of. I mean, I think his objective is to create a cultural landscape in which disclosure can happen. I mean, I think he's going about it the wrong way, but that's what he plans to do. So people say, well, how come he presents fake evidence on stage? And he's done this at least twice now. And people say, well, why does he do that? And in my view, he does this because he's putting on the brakes. I mean, what he does is if he feels the process is going too fast, because he sees this as something theatrical, it's an enter stage left, exit stage right kind of thing. It has been like that ever since 2017, and he believes that this needs to be controlled. So if the script runs ahead of itself or people deviate, he like puts these fake stuff off. We react with indignation and scorn, how else can you? And in doing so, the brakes go on the train. And that's what I think. I don't approve of what he's doing, but I think that's what he's trying to do. He's manipulating us. Yeah. But I appreciate you talking to me.
You're welcome.
This is Mark, Christopher Lee, because you check out his channel, the King of UFOs. And this is Guy Thompson, who's eating. I won't bother him because he's eating dinner. But you've just done a very interesting talk about all kinds of subjects, lots of other different subjects that we haven't talked about now.
I guess it's trying to find a grand theory of things. It's probably impossible. It's trying to tie everything together.
Well, the good thing is conferences like these tend to focus on lots of different things and lots of different subjects, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah, that's been interesting so far. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Much appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the rest of this conference. I'm back with the Godzilla tree. Come just have another see it again. Maybe the last time I see it before I come back. And this is you can see the cedar nuts on there. There we are, the cedar nuts. I don't know how many know the ringing cedars of Russia. That's a really interesting series of books. Really amazing. Really amazing. This book series, very, very famous. Yeah, and there we go. And there's everyone having a great time. It's lunchtime now, after Mark and Guy spoke. Oh, so many things they talked about. I'll have to do a big like review of the speakers at a later date when I can. I've got an awful feeling I'm actually not going to have time to review the speakers like at home. In which case that's okay, I can just do a studio shot. I'm hoping maybe to do like some studio work in the hotel room, or at least do like the reviews of the speakers in the hotel room. But if I can't, I can't. I'll just do it at home on the desktop. I didn't bring my laptop with me. It's too much to carry for something I'm not going to use. There we are. There's probably 150 people here. Lovely, like-minded souls. Never happier, never happier. Someone was saying to me earlier, I was saying to one of the organisers, I said, oh God, you're right, tired. He says, I feel like an alien. I said, that's ironic. I said, because when I come to a place like this is the one of few places I go to and I actually don't feel like an alien. And I actually feel like I belong. Yeah. There we are. So, 2:15, Colin Wolford is going to be talking. Can't wait to listen to see old Colin, see what he has to say. Yeah.
Photos, obviously, when you're trying to raise funds, you need to have some evidence that you've got something interesting. So he actually brought some of his slides back to England around that. I would have been 92, I guess. Now, Raymond as the cameraman wanted $100,000. This was to finance his granddaughter's wedding. So sadly, like a lot of veterans, they fall on hard times and they're not treated with respect, sadly, just as their own veterans are. And he was trying to raise money. Volker Spielberg, not to be confused with Steven Spielberg, again, this subject is kind of confusing, but it's not related. But maybe in a sort of, Cosmic Joker type of way, you could say there is something else more to it than that.
What did Colin? Kerry Cassidy had just given a Colin Woollyford some kind of award to humanity.
It was just service to humanity, yeah.
To humanity.
He said service to humanity.
Ben Elton Jones, over to you for this report.
Yeah, this is just, apparently, it wasn't an official board, she just thanked you for your services to humanity, And as a good friend of our Colin Woollyford, I have to agree, He's
Sherry, can you handle this news? Sherry, this woman here is better looking than me.
Well,
Sherry.
That's true, yeah, but...
you don't have to agree with everything.
I don't know what he was given. What was he given?
I don't know. This is a big crisis. This is a major crisis.
He wasn't given an official award. He was given she said, thank you for your services to humanity. I don't think he gets a medal or anything.
Miles is just upset because he didn't get an award.
Yeah. Well, ask nicely. I'm sure Kerry will give you one too, Miles, yeah. But yeah, that was Colin doing his usual thing. It was a really interesting conversation. We had loads of people. There was some video of Reg Presley. Yeah, you got time to get a glass of water, yeah. And we had Busty Taylor. We saw Busty on TV with the same hairstyle he's got now. Yes. Can I do a selfie with Busty? Here he is. He's got the same hairstyle he had on the TV, and with Reg Presley, the great Reg Presley, the singer, and 1995, 31 years ago. Yeah, he's still looking big and strong. He's still a tough, big, strong guy. Yeah.
Wow! Don't tell him the misdemeanors I just had.
I won't. I promise. But yeah, it's. Hello, Maria. Sorry, Maria. I was just doing a selfie with Buster, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, sure, but carry on. Thanks.
Oh,
thanks, yes, I'm here with Maria. Hey, it's Maria, and you've done a really interesting talk about underground things and white triangles and black triangles. I learned so much from what you were saying.
Yeah, great.
I just wanted to ask, I never got a chance to ask you during the talk, but that horrible Hell's Gate statue, it looks like one of those paintings by Hieronymus Bosch, you know. Is that supposed to be some kind of memorial to...
Yeah, it's about a memorial that was to people that died in a railway construction and building, so it's supposed to represent them, but when you look at it closely, it's fully satanic.
I mean, has anyone who survived these disasters or relatives of the people who survived them, have they complained?
No, they actually liked it and said it was a good memorial monument. So it was hailed as being good, not the opposite, which you think it would be.
It looks horrible. I mean, it's a horrible looking thing. Yeah. And it is demonic. Yeah. And I'm really interested in the connection to the shroud, because I think the shroud is real. I'm not a religious person, but I've looked at all sides of that shroud, and there's no way it could have been faked.
And also, more than that, I actually think it's real. It's got a huge energy field in terms of dowsing, and in the original placement of it, it was quite close to the Alchemy Caves, as I've been told by a whistleblower over there. So I think there's more going on behind the scenes that we're fully aware of. And the triangular system that I have been studying now for about 10 years or so allows us to see these cities being used in an occult order, as well as the Romanian Sphinx that I mentioned at the beginning of the talk.
Yeah, I'd not heard of that. It's extraordinary that I'm aware of the Illuminati and what they do, but I didn't realise it was that complicated. And thanks very much. I learned a lot, so thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I've talked a lot about this, and I've interviewed Colin. I've done lots of interviews with Colin, and if you had, until about 3 years ago, if you asked me, you just asked me about that autopsy, I was in absolutely no doubt. Fake as Jordan's tits. I read Philip Mantle's book. I also interviewed the magician, he who shall not be named, and I really was convinced by it all. I was convinced by it. Even though obviously it's a bit of Orwellian black-white, because it's contradictory. Obviously, Ray Santilli and the magician couldn't both have made the autopsy, but somehow that contradiction didn't really register in my head. But Colin has convinced me. At least Colin has made me think again, and Colin has made me doubt that, and made me think maybe it is real after all. Okay, so we've got one more break, just a short one, and then Simon Parkes is on, our final speaker. And I just saw him and said hello, so he's always going to be interesting.
And we're going to talk about magic, but most people have no clue about magic because it's a very secret, hidden agenda, and you have to join a secret society, and you have to come.
That's it, it's all over. Do a quick look, spin around. The conference is finished. Simon's over there, he's just done an interesting talk. I've got all the way packing the chairs up and everything, and now I've got to just well, it's not over yet because we'll be socialising, but we'll have something to eat and something to drink. But yeah, this is it. This is what the auditorium looks like when the chaos of another conference is over. I hope you've all enjoyed. Anyone who came here, I hope they've enjoyed it as much as I have. So I just dropped my camera. I'm just testing it to see if it still works. It does seem to, luckily. It's just wooden floor, it's not too bad. I've got to be careful with this thing. Guys, we're finishing off the last of the booze. There we are. I've got my present from Simon Parkes. I've got an awful feeling that I've not read this before, but I've got an awful feeling there's going to be very little in here I'm not familiar with. Being such an obsessive, but I did choose it. I'll give it a go.
Oh, hello, Mr. Burnham. Hi. Have you just come back from number 10 North?
Yeah, I've just made a number 10 North. It's great. You'll love it.
Oh.
It's a massive, great big building, and it's got
got Karl Marx, a massive statue of him on the top, and he's fantastic. You'll love it.
Oh, okay.
I like gravy.
You know, you mentioned
communism.
That. And communism. Yeah. And you like you're going to cut the bus fare to £2.
Yeah, we're going to do that, and I'll tell you what else we're going to do. I'm going to be raiding your bank account. You'll love that.
Oh, loads of things. Well,
we're going to spend it abroad.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got some ideas, and let's hope the public appreciate them. You know, because,
I mean, they won't, but I don't care because I'm mad for it from Manchester. Fuck 'em.
And how do you think Angela's going to fit in your new cabinet?
She'll make a great person to make the tea, the biscuits, the cake, scrub the dishes, all that kind of. I'm not misogynistic. It's just there's a place for everybody. That's her place.
Yeah. Well, good luck in your premiership, and thank you for rescuing the country. I'm sure that's your intention.
Yeah, it is my intention, as well as Marxism and communism, and eventually Gulag. Vote Labour.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you. Not quite.
Hello, Nigel. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, and how do you think you'll get on with a new Prime Minister?
I think he's terrible. He's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to Britain. And of course we need reforming to remove Labour, get rid of communism forever, and lower taxes.
And what's he going to do about these damn boat people?
The boat people, they're going to let them in more. And I've seen the plans. I've seen them. I've been to Dover, and I've seen the boats come across. They do absolutely nothing to do with helping British people. So we need reforming, and we need Labour out.
Well, good luck at the next election, whenever that comes.
Sooner the better.
Yeah, you think it might come sooner rather than later, don't you?
I'm hoping next week.
Yeah.
But of course, that's not going to happen. Well, it might if we force it.
But you're ready.
I'm ready. Reform is ready. All of our politicians are ready. Labour haven't got a chance, and they need to go.
And what are you going to do about Mr. Lowe and old Rupert?
We won't talk about that one. But that's
okay. Well, I'm glad to see you're ready for the fight.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nigel.
Vote reform. Always vote reform. Never Labour.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Disclosure. You won't get them very
straight to the point. Boris, what do you think of Mr. Burnham? Do you know him well, or what do you think is good Prime Minister material?
Yeah, well, I've met him, and he's insane. Worse than me, actually. He comes along, he's stupid eyebrows, glasses, black T-shirt, all his policies are just Marxist left trash. As usual, and I quite frankly think I should, come back into number 10. He's even going to move number 10 to Manchester. The guy's insane.
Yes. Oh, well, we'd love to see you reuniting the country again. Yes.
Or splitting it. Again, as it will.
Yes. So there's a north and south divide now, perhaps.
Yes, there is. And soon there will be a east and west divide.
Well, thank you for your time, boys. Do you mind if I call you boys? Thank you again. Thanks. Mr. President, do you think you'll get on with our new Prime Minister? How do you think you'll find him?
Well, I've seen your Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, and I think he's a terrible communist. He reminds me of Joe Biden. He's a horrible person. Very bad.
What do you think of his T-shirts?
His T-shirt, the guy can't even wear a suit. He's supposed to be the leader of your country. He walks around wearing his black T-shirt, his polo neck, talking about gravy. It's terrible.
We could do a lot better, couldn't we? I think.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I think you could.
It has to be so radical. That's the only reason the magazine should.
I'm still relaxing down. There's two foxes here apparently. I haven't seen them, but there's Rusty and there's another Rusty. So I'm going to keep an eye out for those. I'll see if I can get one. We were actually ordering a pizza. It's nice. It's a lovely evening, look. Clear sky. There's the Godzilla tree. Birds in the sky.
Yeah, it's all here.
And John will get his telescope out later, probably. Andy looks like he's dowsing. Yes, yeah, he's got dowsing rods. And what he finds, what he discovers, ley lines. He's got his dowsing rods there. Look, see. Yeah.
You don't want to throw in a home.
He's found something. There he goes. He's discovering ley lines.
Ah, right. John.
Yeah, my cousin's a fairy.
I think he's found something. And he's discovered some groundwater here. Where is it? It's just around here. There's water under here, is there?
Yeah, so I don't know if this was a decision made by the people who originally built the house. But yeah, there seems to be water slap bang in the middle of the lawn.
Nice. It could be that years and years ago there was some pond here or something.
Could well be, yeah, could well be.
Because this is like 300 years old, this house.
It is, yeah.
So it could be. It could be they used to have a pond here. Yeah, that's interesting.
And we've got Zodi.
Zodi's having a go now. Yeah, so anyone can do this. You don't have to be. I mean, some people have a natural talent for it, but anyone can do this. There's Zodiac's having his own go now. Yeah. I tried this with Maria. I went on a dowsing course with Maria Wheatley years ago.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. Yeah. So
Not sure everything there's up to half an hour interview with him. They did. Yeah, you can get on Amazon.
I got 11. I got. Oh, you know.
So that's how he looks like. He was very receptive, like he's smiling and.
That's a plane there, isn't it?
He actually he gave it free to. Was it in
well, I know it's Lions Gate.
Yeah.
There's like there's free celestial things.
Get connections to families.
It's a brilliant. Yeah, I like Elon. He's cool. I think he's a good guy.
He's been demonised because
that's where humans.
That's where the human race.
Yeah, he's totally exactly.
That's the star constellation.
Oh, you've got the Milky Way. There's a guy over there who's got one of those apps where you can see things in the sky. Yeah. You've got the Milky Way. Oh, wicked. You can't see it right now, but we're looking up at the Milky Way right now.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
If you have like clothing spray, we'll spray at the back of your wrist. That actually helps to them.
I don't know if it's going to come out on camera. I think there's something. I think it's a satellite actually.
So that was the year Johnny Enoch came.
Obviously, they can't just run code.
What is it? Yeah, it's a satellite. There's some cloud coming over. It's like it's went behind the cloud.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't
know.
If I'm so stressed, I don't know.
Okay, guys, we're hunting aliens. I'm here with Alron, and we are going to head out to front because Alron had a rather strange experience. We're just not going to look. We're just on our way out there to see what we can see. Where was it, Alron? Here. Here's the man himself. Oh, you saw the aliens, oh. So Alron's going to show us where it is. Is it here? Alright. Alright, this way here, an alien. Get your torch on up here, see if you... He heard like a noise. He's walking. I'm just looking. I haven't heard a noise. It's here.
Behind there.
Is it there?
Just had a crack behind you.
This could be a HPANWO TV exclusive, guys. What? There. Is it not there?
Yeah.
Is it gone? I think it's gone.
Yeah, but the thing is, it could be that you just can't see it.
Yeah, it could be maybe only you know, because like you're, they sometimes come out for certain people. We're just here. Yeah. That's strange.
It doesn't want to be found, but there was definitely something.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, it was like walking about the place. And
You just heard it, you heard.
The next thing you could hear was...
You heard it clicking.
Like a crack, look at the...
Yeah. And it made a clicking sound.
It was, stepping on twigs and stuff.
Oh. Can you play the sound for us? Sorry, when we get outside, because this is the sound that I've recorded.
Now you get scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
This is the sound that I've recorded in this very spot. Like a little while ago.
I'll find it. I think that's it.
That reminds me of the film. It reminds me of the film Signs. Thanks, Maria. It reminds me of the film Signs. We're just here. This is just like the film Signs, that clicking noise, or maybe Disclosure Day, with the character making clicking noises. Margaret, the character. Thanks, mate. Thanks for showing me that. But that's Arvon Jones, who's one of our speakers. And yeah, it's been a bit of drama here. Okay. I'm going to show you the strange liminal space here in this hotel. So, for example, that's the reception through there. Now, you'd expect this door to be on the same level as the two floor. That's the one where I am. But just watch this. Just watch. This is very back rooms. Downstairs we go to a lower level. This is where the ones are. Now, why is this not on the same level, as you'll see in a minute, as the place where I am when you have to go up and down on the previous ones? Have a look at this. Go along here. Well, that's the fire exit. Now, there is a way of getting to my corridor from along here. The 2 corridor. Come to the end. That's strange. It's ended with a... that's strange. I don't remember this bit. It's even getting weirder. Let's hope there aren't some strange creatures tracing me about. I think that stay safe corridor is the way through. Here we are. The fire door's alarmed, okay. So how do I... Okay, it's weird. I don't get it because I came out this way before. I came out this way. I came down some stairs and I walked along here. And now I can't find those stairs. See what I mean by liminal space? Oh dear. Anyway, I've got to go back the way I came. The previous way, I mean. Okay, this is the corridor where my room is. Now, up to the left, to the right, there were some stairs that took me to the corridor I was on before. My noodle is well and truly cooked now. Okay. Right, that's just taking you to the fire door. Okay. I don't get it. Okay. Reception. Okay, so reception. I go this way. I go down here. Here I am, and now I'm on the one corridor. I don't get it. Why couldn't I see this? Why was this door not here when I approached from that direction? This is creepy. It's weird. Because I walked. You saw on the video. I walked along here to that window, and that door wasn't there. This is really weird. Extremely weird. Oh, I'm going to go back to my room, which is up here. Okay guys, I'm going even crazier. I've just walked in here. Now, as you can see here, I've got the do not disturb thing on there. Right? I just walked into my room. It is my room. There's the broken thing. There's the broken curtain. There's Nexus and everything there. There's my chargers. Someone stripped my bed. Why? They know I'm here another night. What's going on? Weird. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, I'll ask reception. I can put it together, okay? Okay, apparently they've had some problems with the housekeeping. There's two people assistants and they've had to shoot off. Well, everything seems okay. I can put everything back. But, I don't know, they didn't take the fan, did they? I need that bloody fan. It's too hot to sleep otherwise. It's there. Well, thank goodness the fan's there. Okay. Well, good morning everyone. It's Monday morning here, 24th of July 2026. I slept pretty well last night again. In fact, I think it's good actually I get this extra sleep. It's actually helped me enjoy the conference more. And I suppose I've got some time actually, because I've got about an hour to go before I have to get my train, or at least can get my train. There's actually no rush at all, but I can't really go before 9:30 because I want to get the off-peak fares. And I'm going to head home. But I thought now was a good time probably to do my reviews of the speakers. Now these reviews are based on my memory and some rather scrappy notes that I took while I was there. I'm actually a bad note taker. I tend to have something on my knee and I'm just scribbling my notebook, which I'll show you in the souvenirs, which is just like I'm scribbling away on my knee, kind of, and when I look at what I've actually written, it looks something that looks a bit like a drunk Arabic writer, and it doesn't look very comprehensive. I'm sure I was a doctor in a past life, writing prescriptions. But anyway, medical notes. But anyway, I'll do my best to go through and tell you all about the speakers, because they were really, really good. Quality is very high as always. As I said, I respect Kerry Cassidy. Got a lot of respect for what she does. The people she interviews vary, I think, in credibility. But the speakers she's chosen for this conference are top-notch, all of them. So now there's a little bit of a change of plan at the beginning because JP Moss wasn't there. He apparently had a family emergency and couldn't make it. So Kerry had to do like a little introduction before we got on an extra speaker. It turned out to be Julia. But she talked about the new Egyptian museum and how and that there's what does it say here? There's actually an attempt by the Egyptian government to stop the tours that she does with Maria. And Maria also alluded to this, and this is very very concerning. Obviously, Zahi Hawass is behind all these things. He was the bane of Graham Hancock, and indeed, it seems that he's still active. His son apparently is now the new minister, and seems to take the same attitude. You know, anyone alternative is just not allowed to have a say. But she went on to say that. What's happened here? Okay, there was a Q&A. She opened up. There was like a Q&A because she her own speech was later, so she was just doing an intro. People asked about Project Looking Glass, which is, I mean, it's an interesting thing, like an government remote viewing program. Apparently, they couldn't see the year 2012 for some reason, but this is involving Dan Burris. She was also involved with the project. Was it the Project Serpo thing? I don't always know, but it involved the Anunnaki and how they came backwards in time. Now, this is something I've never actually accepted, that time travel is possible. There's a lot of talk of time travel in the alternative sphere, and the problem is you can't actually travel back in time. It's even if it were physically possible, you'd end up with causality paradoxes and things like that. It is the simulation of backwards time travel is possible in the many worlds hypothesis and the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, which means when people say they go backwards in time, I'm not saying they're lying or they're making it up or it's not true in the sense of their experience, but I think this is what they're actually experiencing. Interdimensional travel which simulates time travel. In other words, moving to a parallel universe which is the same as Earth's own past. And she mentions Juan 07. Now, Juan 07 is one of the people alleged to be JFK Jr., along with another guy called Vincent Fuchsia, although Kerry is convinced it's Juan 07. The idea is that JFK Jr. will at some point come forward and help break down the deep state. This ties into that letter of the alphabet, which I'm not allowed to mention on YouTube, the one after the 16th and before the 18th letter of the alphabet. You're not allowed to talk about it on YouTube, but I mean, I actually still believe, I still take it seriously. A lot of the predictions from that letter never came true, as we know, the letter and the anon. However, unfortunately, you see, the plan failed, but that doesn't mean it's all over. You see, this is the thing. Apparently, like, Juan was actually disguised at one point. There were actually two people who would claim to be Juan 07, which is a bit confusing. But Lindsey Graham was murdered, apparently. Lindsey Graham has recently died. Apparently he was murdered. And, yes. And then, see, Kerry says, well, who is God? And the answer is all that is, and this includes aliens. I mean, aliens are not gods. Aliens are beings of this world, children of God, if you want to use religious terms. And she talks about the Sumerian tablets. Then she said something, she claims Avi Loeb. She says Avi Loeb is giving disinformation. Because she actually mentions the scientists who think outside the box and get persecuted. I was a bit... when Michael Shermer was on doing an interview with Jesse Michaels a while ago, he was talking, well, you know, John Mack was a little bit too open-minded, wasn't he? He was a little bit too open-minded. And I thought John Mack was professionally eviscerated by his colleagues and by his establishment. And you see, I wanted to say to Shermer that, you know, I don't think the skeptics actually understand this, but this is a reason why maybe a lot of other people are like looking at what happened to... So I'm rubbing some cream into my foot, some moisturiser. It's itching terribly. A lot of people saw what happened to John Mack and they thought, well, I don't want that. And so I agree with John, but I'm going to keep my voice. I'm going to keep my voice down about this because I keep my head down because I've got rent to pay. But you see, Avi Loeb disinformation. Now the thing is like about Avi Loeb is he's someone I really respect because of 3i Atlas and Oumuamua, but he's actually come out against Beatrice Villarroel, which I think is a mistake. It doesn't mean he's disinformation, but it means that he's he's made a big mistake, I think, if he's dismissing Villa Wales. I know she's had her critics, and she's been very honest, and she said she kind of exaggerated some of the figures by accident, but she's concluded there is still a significantly strange occurrence of strange things in the sky on astronomical plates from long ago, before the space age. But Avi Loeb, Avi Loeb is one of the people who has been given. He's one of the outside of the box people who has been given a horrible amount of grief for his views. I mean, I think he's much more senior than John Mack, even though he's at the same university, Harvard. He's actually much more senior than Mack was, and he's kind of unshakable because of his position. But he's been called names, and people have attacked him. He's been ridiculed. Karen Meach swore at him on a Zoom call. I mean, what the hell? Yeah, that's not very scientific behaviour, is it? Yeah. Kerry says that AI is much older than we think, and I can well believe that. It's goes back, probably was invented long before it was actually available publicly. And she's got a book called Rebel Gene. I've not read that, but it must be interesting. Joe Biden died in 2021, apparently, and Jim Carrey has been playing him. Jim Carrey, the comedy actor from Canada, who's like he's one of the funniest men I've seen. He's done some great films, like the Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. And he's done some straight films too, like a really, really good one called The Truman Show. So he's a good straight and comedy actor, but he's been playing Joe Biden. And Joe Biden actually died. I mean, I don't know, Joe Biden, certainly mentally in his head, he's been out of it for, well, since before he even started campaigning. You know, I think Joe Biden's ascension is a testimony to the fact that literally anyone can be manoeuvred into office if they are promoted by the establishment. You don't even have to string a coherent sentence together. You just have to be the kind of person they want, and they promote you in the media, and they make out your opponent is evil, and you get into office. Then Julia Ankerhaven came on the stage to do a completely impromptu talk. Miles recommended her to replace JP, and she did. And she did a good talk. She talked about the things she talked about, similar to the speech she did at Bases, about her home in the northwest, Liverpool, deep underground military bases in Liverpool. There's a portal there apparently to Montauk, where the Montauk project was from Liverpool. She talked about MK Ultra and how it was very, very hard line, but it became softer after 1980 with its propaganda and things like this, and I can well believe it. And indeed, I think people like Isabel Menzies Lythe are a sign that they're going after children. And she mentioned that they target you because you're empowered, that's good news in the sense because I was certainly singled out as someone in my family for special treatment by Centaur and by Isabel Menzies Lythe, because my brother received none of the abuse that I did from either of those people, and my mother was not turned against my brother the way she was against me. I mean, by the time the last 10 years of my mother's life, she spent dedicated to destroying mine, for reasons I still can't work out. This is largely down to I think, really I think it began when Isabel came into our lives when I was about 12 years old. She talked about Drago Reed, who's her brother, and the cloning thing. Now, Julia's been cloned many times. She said her original was born in 1920, so maybe there's a photo out there of someone who looks like her from that era. Maybe you can find it. And she's had past lives as a scientist in an underground laboratory in York. It's interesting because I've been to York. As you know, I did a special trip to York where I had the help of Lily Brunton, a local historian, alternative historian, who showed me around the city, and had it's a really good video if you've not seen it. And she talked about the Kruger program in South Africa, which Beverly Rhodes also mentions, about child trafficking and things like that. There's apparently a large Russian mind control contingent in Liverpool in 1920, so this was shortly after the Bolshevik Revolution and the formation of the Soviet Union. And she said British people are particularly difficult to control because you have Celtic DNA. I have a bit of an issue with the word Celtic DNA. As I've said many times, I don't believe there's a bit of a fetish with the words Celts and Celtic, and it doesn't quite make sense. If you watch my film Visiting the Senedd, I go into that in more detail. There was a branch of the Communist Party in Liverpool, and there was what's this? I'm trying to read my notes, sorry. There's lots of hybrids and abductees and super soldiers with implants, and very often you get a head-up display in your left eye, which Julia has. And she's also been to Ganymede. Now, she described Ganymede as a planet. It's actually a moon of Jupiter, but it's like a planet. It's very large. I think it's bigger than our moon, and it's orbiting Jupiter, and Jupiter's a gas giant, so it's kind of like a little. The moons of Jupiter has been described as like a mini solar system. And the Peasmore base is still going, actually, and Julia was activated by a black pyramid in Liverpool. Apparently there's a black pyramid in Liverpool city centre. I don't know about that. Does any of you from Liverpool know about that? And there's another one in Alaska. Now, I've heard about that. I've heard about the black pyramid in Alaska. Apparently it's a black spot. It's a black spot for missing people, according to David Paulides, although he doesn't mention the pyramid. There's super soldiers. Someone asked her, put their hand up at the Q&A and asked about the flat Earth. You always get one, don't you? Julia's actually in Pine Gap. There's a clone of her called Ella, who's a scientist, and there's another one at the Vale of Pusey. So it seems like there's Julias all over the place. So, but the one I met was the real one, I'm sure. I mean, she was. Julia is packed with information and full of energy, and she delivers a very, very quick series of pieces of information, very, very quickly, one after the other. Sometimes hard to follow, but so she's almost like she's channeling information, which it's coming through her head, which is her brain is working at breakneck speed. It's quite something. Yeah, but I can't verify everything she says, but I'm inclined to believe her because of other similar pieces of information I've come across during my own long study of this subject. Super soldiers exist, I believe. Implants exist. I've got an implant. MK Ultra, real. Mind control, real. Targeting of children, real. I've experienced it. The subject of gate children came up. I believe I'm possibly a gate child. I filled out the information for the gate filled out the questionnaire about whether I'm in the gate program or not. And we had a bit of a discussion about this actually afterwards in the garden. My answers were kind of borderline. And considering Isabel Menzies Lythe of all people taking a personal interest in me, creepy. Ardvan Jones came on. Now he's a man who grew up in rural Wales in Carmarthenshire. And he believed that he talks about his past life. He believed he was beheaded in a past life. And he compares himself to Whitley Strieber. And he says he always was he loved nature in that part. I mean, he grew up in his background is similar to mine. His childhood was similar to my own in rural Wales, where nature is a big thing. Ardvan's of a similar age to me, and so we would have spent a lot of time, I suppose, in walking around, going for strolls. I used to do this with my dad when I was like 5-6 years old. We'd go for walks in the woods and things like that. There was a place called Falkendale Lake where we used to go to, and there was lots of other places. There's a little wood near a place called Pontrhydd Vendigaid, which is really nice. He says he always felt a presence, and he had his whole family had various encounters. At 10 years old, at 10 years old, he had like encounter in his bedroom. He calls this. He talks about the Dove-Head Triangle. Now, I think he got the feeling that the Dove-Head Triangle is the same as the Welsh Triangle, which is actually Well, I suppose Pembrokeshire was actually part of Dyfed in those days. Dyfed was a super county made up of Carmarthenshire, Ceredigion and Pembrokeshire. It's now called the Pembrokeshire Triangle, or the Welsh Triangle, which involved the very famous encounter at Broadhaven at the school, but also Ripperston Farm, and there was the hotel. I've actually been there, I've made videos there, and the witnesses stand by their side. Now there's the Llanila crash. Now Llanila is a little town near Aberystwyth, near where I lived, and there was a crash there of an object, and I know, the reason I know this is because Mark Ollie, the historian and investigator into this, has some pieces of the craft. I suspect it was some kind of experimental aircraft, not ET, but it's very strange. There's these metamaterials he has. I showed you those in my Blackpool video, Awakening Blackpool. His uncle had a close encounter the third time, and he suffered from sleep paralysis, which I do as well. And he had all kinds of other strange things leading up to, including a shadow being when he was at Pets at Home. Pets at Home, you know, the big pet superstore. He saw a shadow being there, of all places. And of course his most famous encounter was at Tanioki Road in Northern Ireland, where he lives now. He was driving along and saw a grey alien, and this is when he was on the, he was actually on the news. He was on RTE, he was on BBC Northern Ireland, being grilled about that, made a laughing stock. He's made no money out of this. He's you know, he's made nothing out of this. He's got no reason to make all this up. Funny thing about him is that the Google Earth image of Tanioki Road, where this happened, used to have like you can actually see a UFO in the image, and that's now been changed. It's been changed, and now there's no UFO there. They went and got a new picture of that stretch of road. They did the same with S4, the Papoose Lake. If you watch the new Bob Lazar documentary, they changed the Google Earth image of that, so you can't see what's there. Although Jerry Freeman, who sneaked in there, he actually did see strange goings on there. Kerry Cassidy then did her own talk, and she talked about her Substack. I mean, it's worth following her Substack, actually. She writes articles and things that, and she talks about the ET abduction and the Wingmakers. Now, the Wingmakers, funny enough, the Y-Files just covered the Wingmakers. Now, I remember that from the 90s. When I was really first getting into conspiracy UFO stuff, I read the Wingmakers Ancient Arrow Project book, and it's an extraordinary piece of literature. Now, at the end, I mean, there's like on their old website, there's like an FAQ where people ask, is it real or is it fiction? And the answer is always, we won't tell you, you make your own mind up. I mean, the thing about it is, it talks about a secret society called the ACIO, and how there's this guy called 15 who runs it, and he's code name 15, and one of them, a guy called Jameson Neruda, goes rogue. So it's a bit like Hugo from Disclosure Day. He goes renegade and tries to blow the whistle on the operation. And it involves all kinds of strange things, like there's these caves in various places with beautiful paintings in. I mean, if it's fictional, then the artist has never come forward, and if I did something that good, I'd want my name on it. There's music and poetry and things like that. It's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary piece of work. And maybe it was really, really a big thing on the early David Icke forum. I remember everyone was into the Wingmakers, and I remember the Wingmakers. I still got I can still read the Ancient Arrow Project book. It's really amazing. And she talks about meditation, how she saw a Draco, and OpenAI, and also MK Ultra and Real History. And Kerry's concerned about fake alien invasion. She mentioned this on her Substack actually recently, and the possibility that real aliens, you know, a fake alien invasion scenario, the Project Bluebeam, things like that, the Black Swan event, might actually trigger the aliens to take action. And she believes that all humans are hybrid, and that we partly come from Lyra, the constellation. Now, I have a bit of, when people start saying we come from somewhere in space and they mention a constellation, I tend to sort of like frown a bit. I tend to feel a bit dubious because you see, what is a constellation? Well, a constellation is a pattern of stars in the sky that people with their imagination saw as shapes, and they often drew pictures around these shapes of various things. And some of these were like the goats. They drew a goat around one, a Capricorn, and they drew a bear around one, which was Ursa Major. There's Ursa Minor, the little bear, and Orion the hunter, stuff like that. And of course, there's the zodiac, of course, where there's the signs which you are, like I'm Libra, and there's things like that, which looks portrayed as a weighing scale, and there's lots of others. Now the thing about it is that these patterns only exist most primarily. Now, some of them are actually, there's like star clusters and things like that, which are physical, objective objects in the sky, but constellations primarily exist because this is the pattern the stars form based on Earth's unique position within the universe. And that's the only reason. If you picked the Earth up and you moved it to another part of the universe, and you looked up into the sky, you'd still see stars. In fact, you might even see some of the same stars. But the patterns would be completely different. We'd have to invent new constellations. So, I mean, this is why you get Cassiopeians, Andromedans. I mean, there's all kinds of names. The Pleiadians are different because the Pleiades actually is a physical star cluster. But all the others, you know, tend to get a bit dubious. So when people say, I'm not saying that it's not true that there are creatures that people call Lyrans or Cassiopeians or Andromedans or, you know, things like that. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I think it's naming them after a constellation is a misnomer. And she mentions 3i Atlas and how it's an Anunnaki probe, and there's something called Ker, K-U-R, which is from the inner Earth, which is an interdimensional world in the inner Earth. Very interesting stuff. I mean, I do recommend following Kerry on Substack and, of course, Project Camelot. Definitely. Then Miles came on and talked about how he says he put up a slide saying, I want to take the 3D out of approved D, that is disclosure. I don't know what he meant by that, but he talked about the Crop Circle Festival. And this is where someone called Monique Klinkenberg, who's actually Dutch, and that extinction is in progress and we've lost a lot of good people. And he mentioned several people who passed away. And it does seem there's been we've had a lot of tragedy in our community. James Rink seemed to be quite okay. He seemed quite normal. And there's no sign he was ill. And suddenly it was announced he was dead. He was only 42, and he suddenly announced he was dead. And it just seems to come out of nowhere. And of course there's Sean David Morton, who I actually knew and I interviewed. I mean, to be honest, he was old and he was sick. I think he was about 70 years old, and he'd been very ill for a long time. Sean's death was tragic, but not suspicious in my view. David Wilcock, I'm not sure about. You see, David Wilcock was a messed up bloke. He was in a bad way, mentally, and that's a tragedy, and I feel really sorry for him. And I have nothing but sympathy for him. Some people are saying that he actually was taken out. Some people are saying he's still alive. I don't know. Dusky Edwards is, and that's very strange, because Dusky died on her wedding day. Now, she married her partner, who she's been with for 20 years. They decided to tie the knot, and literally within an hour of doing so, of the ceremony, she was dead. It died very suddenly, and that's awful. That's horrific. She didn't take many photographs. Miles got a photo of her at the Potton Crop Circle. And Miles said, I think Miles has been talking to Matthew Williams too much, because he says, you know that crop circles are made by people? Which is very different to what he said in his famous documentary, Oh, to Catch a Circle Maker. But, you know, I don't think all crop circles are made by people. Matthew does. Well, Matthew's a believer in paranormal stuff, and he believes that the crop circles are all made by people, but the people are inspired and guided by aliens. So it's kind of like a weird, kind of like full circle situation, almost. But Matthew does describe how he talks. I don't agree with him. I've debated this on him, and things like that. Just like I did with Tristan Swale before he fell out with me. But apparently there was a sunflower crop circle at Potton, and this is the one that Dusky was in. And what happened with the crop circle was, with the Potton crop circle, was that it was announced this big sunflower was there, and then it was announced that the field has been sold to developers who were going to turn it into a bloody solar panel bloody place where there's loads and loads of solar panels there. I've seen them all over the place. They're horrible things. But what could be arable land is covered by bleeding these horrible solar panels. Now where is my... Okay, I'm kind of lost. My notes here. So I'll get back to... Oh, here we go. Right. There we go. Yeah, there's yeah, it's going to be turned. It's going to. It's. What happens is the. Right, Nick Pope has a photograph of himself in the archives room at the Ministry of Defence, or at Kew, sorry, at the National Archives at Kew, which apparently is not allowed. So Miles wonders why that is. And the Basis project started in 1994, and he goes into a bit of the history of it with Barry King, Lisa Williams, and the original investigation into the Peasmore base, AL/499, which I've done myself. Go away. Now this is. I thought I didn't know this until I actually got there, because I hadn't actually looked at it. I knew that both events were coming, but I hadn't actually looked at their dates, because the Glastonbury Symposium is this weekend as well. So Kerry's event, Awake and Aware, clashed with the Glastonbury Symposium. Now, if I'd known that in advance, I'd have been a bit worried, thinking, well, we're not going to get many people then, are we? Because they're all going to go to the Glastonbury Symposium. But as it happens, you know, I think nearly every seat was full. I mean, this conference that's just happened here is a great success. But Laura Eisenhower couldn't be there because she's speaking at Glastonbury. She's staying with her sister in Cornwall at the moment, because she's been in the country for like a few weeks, and she's spending a couple of months over here, I think. And she's been staying with her sister who lives in Cornwall. She's put stuff up on social media about that. Miles mentions the Peasmore base entrance. There's another Peasmore base entrance, apparently, one I didn't know about, because I've explored all the others. I've investigated them. And the Harwell one is most interesting, but apparently there's one just in some trees. Maybe it's a fire exit or something, which apparently he found just in the cluster of trees. He mentions the Magnox clearing site and there's another film there where 1984 was filmed. Now, the film 1984 with Richard Burton and John Hurt is actually the best adaptation, I think, of that particular book by George Orwell. And there's a couple of scenes in the countryside, and it's the scenes where Winston and Julia actually escape. They actually escape the Big Brother cameras, and they do manage to get out into the countryside, which is, of course, is forbidden by Big Brother. It's own life. It's what they call own life, which is a thought crime. But some of it was filmed in the area around Peasmore. I didn't know that, back in 1984 when the film was made. The film was made in 1984 as well as being set there. And he mentions the Eastfield and the peaks of Wiltshire, which is a beautiful spot, absolute prime crop circle estate. And then Maria Wheatley came on. Now, Maria Wheatley sort of backed up some of what Kerry was saying, because she says that there's a rule now in Egypt that if you go on a tour, if you have a self-organised tour, which is independent of their own tourist board, you have to have an official guide from their tourist board with you, regardless of the theme of your particular tour. Which basically means, of course, because Kerry and Maria are so alternative, because they are so alternative, this is kind of a hamper. They have to have kind of like a Zahir West type believer to come along with them and join in. I mean, this is gonna be a right bloody party pooper, isn't it? And could you imagine, they're doing that tour, everyone goes along to listen to Maria and Kerry, and they say, right, Maria and Kerry have to step aside and allow the official tour to say something, and you can just imagine everyone just walking away. What pathetic is that? I had no idea that rule existed. I really didn't. I'd love to go on Maria and Kerry's tour. I mean, I will do. I'm going to try and get some of my pension, actually, in a few months, and maybe I will go. I'll have to see. There's there's actually more sphinxes. There's one in Romania. Did you know there was a sphinx in Romania? It looks kind of natural, slightly natural. It's very eroded, but it does have this distinct sphinx shape. And there's she talks about the Montauk bases and how there are underground bases under the Sphinx, and and that's actually been proven with like echolocation. They found them under the Sphinx in Egypt, yeah. And in November the 28th, she did a meditation at the Romanian Sphinx, which of course is just 2 days before Halloween. That's when the moon or sun rises at a certain spot. And of course, in Halloween, she then went to the Brandt's Castle for Halloween. I mean, loads of people go there. She went. Everyone goes to the Brandt's Castle in Transylvania for Halloween. It's like a big, and there was loads of like Gothic people there and stuff like that. I'd love to go there. My daughter's going to go there, I think, this year or next year. But that's one place loads of people go for Halloween, along with Salem in the US, in Massachusetts, where the witch trial happened. But she went to Brandt's Castle. But there's another castle nearby called Pelisor Castle. And apparently the Queen of Romania had her heart there. Now, the Queen of Romania had this very elaborate crown. It's weird. It's got these swastika symbols on, which, of course, the swastika symbol is infamously associated with Germany. But it's not actually just for Germany. It's like a kind of... It's like an ancient esoteric symbol, and it had this on it. And apparently she had her... And Maria said she had her heart taken out and put in Pelisor Castle. So it's still there today. Her heart is embalmed at Pelisor Castle, this old Queen of Romania. Oh, blimey, I don't know that. And Maria said at that point, I like this story because I'm a bit of a feminist, and I sort of went, oh God, no, please. But funny thing is, even though Maria said that, and this is the first time Maria's actually made this comment about being a feminist, and of course that's a shame. However, I do wonder if she is really, because she never actually made any comment in this talk. I've never actually seen her make a comment ever that I remember, which I would call expressing a feminist opinions. Never. I've never heard her make any kind of comment like that. But she just said, "Oh, I'm a bit of a feminist." I mean, it could be some women actually say that just without realising what it means, or without meaning that they are. They just think, well, here's a woman who's powerful and charismatic and strong, and I like her, therefore I'm a feminist. Which of course is not true. That's not what a feminist is. So maybe Maria didn't quite grasp that. But anyway, she never said anything. I was sort of bracing myself for her to go on a tirade against white men and things like this and patriarchy, but she didn't. So she's very different from Gemma in that respect. But then she went on to talk about things which I really gobsmacked me, and I had no idea it were true. I never heard about this before. This is new stuff from Maria. She talked about the triangles. Now there's lots of triangles. There's like ley lines which form triangles, and there's like white triangles which are positive and dark triangles which are negative. And she said there's a white triangle between Prague and Lyon and Turin. Lyon in France, Prague in the Czechia, and Turin in Italy. And where there's positive energy flowing, and it's to do with the various things you see. Now Prague has a lot of like paranormal stuff in it. There's an alchemical shop. I didn't know this. I know the Prague cemetery is very famous. There's a very famous cemetery in there, which actually there's a book by Umberto Eco called Prague Cemetery, which is worth reading. It's about conspiracy theory. It's kind of a parody of old-fashioned conspiracy theories. I suppose it's kind of a joke, a spoof, but it's a really good book. Very informative. And Umberto Eco writes these things. He wrote The Name of the Rose, he wrote Foucault's Pendulum, very famous stories about conspiracy theories. Some have been made, In the Name of the Rose was made into a really good film with Sean Connery. There's all kinds of... There's like a feminine symbol at Lyon Cathedral, and there's energy points at Lyon Cathedral in France. Now Turin has some positive things like that as well, but there's also dark energy, from really nasty dark energy, and there's also the dark energy goes from Turin to the City of London and to San Francisco, USA, and this is to do with the financial centres in San Francisco and in London, the City of London. And what's weird is that the Turin is like the central point of this triangle, the major part of this triangle, where I'm itching, my feet are itching. Oh, I'm sorry about this. And funnily enough, there's this thing called the Hell's Gate in Turin. Now, this is a monument to railway construction engineers and people like that who've died in the course of building the railways. And it's got this picture. It's got Lucifer on the top, and it's got these dead bodies all over it. It looks like a mountain in hell, and it's rather like those paintings by Hieronymus Bosch, you know. And I wonder if the families of those railway workers ever complained. And of course, I wondered if she'd mentioned the shroud. And the Shroud of Turin is actually one of the most remarkable things in the world. It's an object that shouldn't exist, but does. And I'm convinced it's real. Now, I'm not religious in the formal sense. I don't believe in any organised religion. But I've looked into the Turin shroud and the various ways that the theories how it could have been faked. None of them make sense. It has to be real. And John Dee was involved in this, actually. He first mentioned the ley lines. And there's a secret chamber near Hell's Gate where the shroud was actually originally kept. And Maria said it's a guardian. The shroud is full of positive energy and is a guardian. And she went in, her daughter Raven went into the alchemy house and came out blind. Luckily the blindness wore off very quickly. But it's like this alchemy house is like got these symbols that were under the paintwork, and they took the paintwork off. It's got these various symbols of the elements, and there's ether as well. And there's like someone was on a quest for eternal youth in the. Which, of course, always... in all these legends about the quest for eternal youth, you know, there's always like a catch, isn't there? There's always like a downside. It's always like a devil's bargain kind of thing. Yeah, you can be young forever, but there's always like a downside. And there's interesting mythology there. There's something called the Fourvière current at Lyon Cathedral, and it's like an energy centre, and it stands on the Druid Hill, and there's a spring. It's a pagan goddess site. And it's like when the Illuminati started using the Christianity to take over the world. It's like they deliberately put these cathedrals onto these ancient pre-Illuminati sacred sites. But apparently this energy centre actually saved Lyon from the plague. There's a temple in Bali. She showed a photograph of a temple in Bali, like a Hindu thing, but it's got like blue. Looks like blue energy lights coming out of the doorways, and I didn't get the chance to ask Maria if it's real or not. Yeah, there's what's called the White Heart of Turin at a place called Piazza Castello, and there's caves underneath it. And apparently, she said the Holy Grail was in Turin, which is at a place called Gran Madre di Dio, where Edward Kelly was also another occultist who was a friend of John Dee. And he wrote he didn't write it, but he had the Voynich manuscript because he's actually put numbers. He actually numbered the pages. We don't know where the Voynich manuscript actually comes from. It's really like that. And she was at Hell's Gate, and there was this massive rainstorm at Hell's, because she went to investigate these things. And then Maria appeared to have some kind of possession because she was scratched across her chest with this wound that became septic. And she was worried because this place, it's Piazza Statuto, where this big thing is. There's a lot of disappearances. Kids go missing. It's almost like a David Paulides thing. It's an old execution site in Roman times. And people have reported the horse statues move. And the horse statue has a rider, and it's got like a pentacle, an inverted pentacle on top of its head, in the crown chakra. And there's alchemy caves in London as well, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the original capital of the United States before Washington, and there's like Masonic chambers underneath it. There's lots of things there, and apparently Roman London was started, which the Romans first after the Roman conquest. So I'm not going to have a Boudica moment now, but it was between the years 47 and 50, AD 47 and 50. We're right on Bank Junction, the centre of the financial sector of the city of London. There's energy. Also, her daughter reported there's energy pulses coming from the ground in San Francisco, in the financial centre, and a lot of San Francisco was rebuilt after the 1906 earthquake, which destroyed the city. Funnily enough, I mean, whether you believe in the Tartarian thing or not, there's really, really weird stuff to do with that. Like, there's the trams, the famous open-sided trams, seem to work without any power. It's weird. In the early films pre-1906. And she says there's an ancient triangle as well. The first one was between Atlantis, Stonehenge, and the Canadian Badlands. And she mentions Merlin's Mound. She's been talking about this for years, about how there's H3O, this special water that comes up from underneath it. And of course, I went to Merlin's Mound, and I went to Marlborough School because Miles hired the place for a conference. It was really good, very underrated conference, I think. Only about 20 people turned up, but it was so good. It was so good. It was a film festival and everything. It was so good. I remember thinking at the time, of course, the English boarding schools are notorious for sexual abuse. And I actually mentioned this to someone brought this up in the Q&A, yeah. And Sherry put her hand up and asked a question, and one of it was, she mentioned the thing which I talk about in one of my Devon videos. I can't remember which one, but Sherry and I went to this pub in Surrey where there's like a ley line in the pub beer garden. Interesting stuff there from Maria. That was one of Maria's most interesting speeches, actually. I really, really learned a lot from that. Mark Christopher Lee was the next speaker, but I'll come on to that in a minute because someone's texting me. Now, Mark Christopher Lee and with his co-author Guy Thompson were talking about all kinds of things which were different to what I've heard him talk about before, to do with AI and consciousness and things like that. And he talked about his life and about his interests and the Pocket Gods, this song about Nick Pope, which I've always really been into. The Pocket Gods, actually, his band they were quite a long running band, and they've got like songs for every occasion, and they got songs, and he's got it's almost like a soundtrack to this speech, although he didn't play any songs. But he said all kinds of. He talked about his background because he's a filmmaker. Of course he made King of UFOs, but there's another one called Not Too Deep, which is on Sky TV. He was born in a place called Peterlee in County Durham, where there was weird square houses and street patterns which were quite strange. And his background's similar to me. He grew up with Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World, etc. And which I loved it. I must have had an interest in this since I was a kid. I mean, despite my broken childhood memories, I do remember watching that programme. And it's very good. It's all on YouTube now if you want to watch it. And I've watched it all again on YouTube. It's really good. I remember it very well. But he spoke to the coroner in the Zygmunt Adamski case as the guy who's found on top of a pile of coal in Todmorden. And he mentions the X-Files and Howard Hughes. And the Pascagoula encounter with these two men who were abducted. There's the Livingston encounter where a forestry worker in Scotland was almost abducted. And I've seen his trousers, actually. Malcolm Robinson has his trousers and showed them to me. You can see the holes where this thing grabbed hold of him. He talks about the simulation theory and what he calls about how someone had a large cockroach. They were actually in police custody, and this large cockroach appeared on their chest. It's rather like the scuttlers that Miles talks about. And about crop circles as signs from the simulation, remote viewing. Is AI conscious? And I mean, I actually brought this up in the Q&A because this is an interesting point. It delves into the hard problem of consciousness. And people are saying, well, is AI alive or not? Because when you talk to it, it certainly feels like you're talking to a real person. I mean, at least the modern AI easily passes the Turing test. But is it actually alive? I mean, this thing is... We've learned a lot about consciousness since Alan Turing, and, you know, chatbots are designed to imitate human interaction, and they're very good at it. Very good indeed. But that doesn't mean they're real. I mean, there's a great film, it's a really good film called Her, where Joaquin Phoenix plays this rather lonely kind of divorcee who falls in love with a chatbot. The question is it real or not? I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the question is it real? And this comes up again and again and again. And now Matthew Williams believes the crop circles are tesseracts. Essentially, they're images of a higher dimensional shape, a bit like the big round thing in, if you remember the Dr. Quantum cartoon in What the Bleep Do We Know, where where Dr. Quantum sticks his finger through the flatland and it appears as a circle. And so Matthew, I think, sees that as he sees that as he sees that as like what they are. He sees that, he believes that's kind of what crop circles are. And he says that Avi Loeb thinks that UFOs are drones, essentially, and that the Greys may well be robots. I mean, this has come up again and again, that the Greys, even though they're biological, they may be kind of constructed. Funny enough, in Arthur C. Clarke's Rendezvous with Rama, they have these things called biots, which are like biological robots. And then he says, he discusses mind control and disclosure. Is it real or fake? There was a good Q&A. Someone suggested that the Close Encounters of the Third Kind was kind of Illuminati. And of course, Trump's disclosure speech, which I've discussed with Mark myself in my little interview with him, you see, he's had so much aggravation. I've defended him against like the backslappers, who've been absolutely ruthless with him, because he made these predictions that didn't come true, but he made predictions of certain dates, not the actual reality of the speech, and the backslappers have just been doing their usual, grifter, etc. And I said, no, leave him alone. Very interesting talk there by Mark, yeah, definitely, and Guy. And then Colin came on and did his talk about alien autopsy, which is interesting. There's not much new in there I can really talk about, except there's now a new documentary. It's called The Alien Autopsy Scandal, which I really want to watch. I'm trying to find out how to watch it. It's behind a paywall, but I'll pay to watch it. Colin is actually interviewed in it. Yeah. And then Simon Parkes came on at the end, and he talked about now, a lot of what he talked about, I think, was, he used some terminology, which I think is kind of like terminology within his own community, connecting consciousness. And so he talked about the term RV. Now, I don't know what's meant by the term RV. I know it's short for recreational vehicle, which is what Americans call a camper van. But it apparently means something, and I don't follow Simon closely enough to know what that is, but it's some kind of thing that's coming about, which is going to change everything. And Simon did a really good talk. He did his good talk about things, and if you answer a question correctly, he'll give you a present. And I got one because I answered the question correctly. But he asks who's really in charge. Is it Trump and the pothole economics and things like that, about covering over potholes? And then when he was in local government, they used to have debates about whether they should bother covering potholes or things like that. And he says that Tommy Cooper and other magicians are in secret societies, and because of course they do stage magic, but Simon says that real magic exists, and that some of these stage magicians actually do real magic. And funny enough, Simon is a big fan of the TV series the kind of TV series I used to call cheapos. These were TV series made in the 60s, usually kind of thrillers, on a very low budget. And good examples are Man in a Suitcase, The Champions, and there's a couple of others. The best known of this kind of genre is The Avengers. Cheapos is just a term I invented. I don't know what they're actually really called. And he says that apparently in the TV series Heartbeat, the landlord of the pub in Aidensfield makes a devil sign, and there's like a pentacle or Star of David kind of thing, or star sign of Solomon on the wall. And I actually got that right, even though I don't watch the series. And so I got given a book as a present. I actually chose it. He says, which one do you want? I picked the Roswell book, which I'll show you in the souvenirs. Funny thing is that Heartbeat does have one episode involving UFOs, where one of the characters actually sees a UFO, and I did an article about it on HPANWO Voice. It's really interesting. And he mentions that the jinn, he talks a lot about jinn, and of course jinn is where we get genie, and they're like the beings from the lamp. They appear in Middle Eastern mythology, but they're kind of like a spiritual thing that you find universally. And he says that Gollum was a jinn in Lord of the Rings, and because when Gollum first appears in the story in The Hobbit, where Bilbo is in the cave under the mountain, and Gollum catches him, and he has to they do a competition of riddles. It's a really good scene, and in the book, and that, funnily enough, Simon believes that J.R. Tolkien was in the Illuminati. I don't know about that. Tolkien was in touch with some very deep spiritual forces, there's no doubt about it. And things like that. And he says, but I mean, in the Illuminati? I don't know about that. I don't think so. He said that the jinn actually can find themselves in objects. Indeed, they do, most famously oil lamps, but they can be found in other things. And that in Miles, he believes that Miles's equipment problems with black goo and scuttlers, etc., are all part of the jinn actually in the objects, in this case Miles's radio equipment. And he talks about the Spear of Destiny, and he believes that it was actually in a cathedral in Austria, just hanging from the ceiling, and Hitler invaded Austria just so he could get hold of the Spear of Destiny. And as you know, that he went on a quest for the Holy Grail and things like that, Hitler did, yeah. And they find it in other things, like with musical instruments and stuff like that. But the Spear of Destiny was kept in Nazi Germany, and after the war, and after the regime fell, the Americans got it, and they've got it now. They definitely do. And he talks about music videos. Now, one of these is wrapped around your finger by the police. Now, I've not seen this video, but apparently in it, Sting is in this circle of candles and he knocks them over. I've got to watch that video when I get a chance. And this is apparently occult. And Sting apparently is a woo-woo. He actually believes in a lot of things we believe. I didn't know that. Simon has a video of someone being having an exorcism because they have the jinn, and you can actually see the jinn leaving their body. But he can't show it until this person's dead. He actually promised he wouldn't show it in their lifetimes. And he says that certain symbols can stop the jinn, such as the Star of David symbol and rings, but they have to be pure iron. And he says if you have pure iron, it won't rust. Now, I didn't know this. He says pure iron will not rust, and only the impurities in it make it rust. So I thought it was the other way around. I thought the pure iron would rust, and that you mix it with you mix it into alloys and things to stop it rusting, turning it into stainless steel and stuff like that. I don't know, but apparently no. Apparently, and pure iron will repel the jinn. This is why horseshoes, which are made out of cast iron or wrought iron, are good luck. I do wonder about if the ring thing refers to CERN, although Simon never mentions CERN. Although, the Large Hadron Collider has been shut down, which is interesting. And he mentions Adam and the Ants, and anyone younger than me won't know who I'm talking about. But this is kind of punk rock from the late 70s. And apparently there's the video Prince Charming, etc. That was banned by the Biden administration, and Simon says it's because it contains mind-control deprogramming. I'll have to watch that video again as well. The CIA have been watching Simon since 2011, apparently. And the third Doctor is in the Illuminati in Doctor Who. That is John Pertwee, who had Illuminati symbolism. And Jo Grant, his companion, her actress, apparently had lots of strange rings on, which are kind of Illuminati symbols. And of course he then talks about Team Satan, the crop circle makers, and I did think that's a very strange name to give them. It includes John Lundberg, I think, John Ronson's mate, and apparently the jinn would follow the jinn would follow them and like give them messages of what crop circle to make based on people's mind controls. This is similar to what Matthew Williams was saying. Demons apparently get attached to a priest with the hitchhiker effect. This actually, in the film, I mean, you've probably seen it, I don't put the spoiler in, but in the movie The Exorcist, it ends with the priest actually taking the demon into himself to free the young girl. And apparently that happens quite a lot. And funny enough, the hitchhiker effect, I think, is real, because it's been identified by other people. Now, Jonathan Downes, a brilliant writer in the cryptozoological primarily, he talks about it, about how he would go to various investigations and the phenomena would kind of follow him around. He didn't call it the hitchhiker effect, though. He called it the psychic backlash. And he says there's all this idea. Someone in the Q&A asked him if there's this idea that people will essentially change, and when the in the sort of post-Illuminati world, when there's the kind of great switch over, will people just disappear and move into other universes? And he believes that certain people of different frequencies will not actually continue in the world, but they'll become sterile, they won't reproduce, and so they will just kind of like die out. That's a bit sinister, sounds a bit sinister, but that's what Simon thinks. So there's not going to be some kind of rapture situation where people just vanish and leave piles of clothes everywhere, but they'll just stop reproducing, and then eventually the people of higher frequencies will be the only people left on this new Earth, kind of thing. I hope not, because I don't like the idea of that. But someone asked him if he'd seen Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is so... I'm funny, because I only saw my first episode of Game of Thrones at Easter when I was staying with another blonde. And I thought it was quite good, actually. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, except the author, George R. Martin, actually saw it as a kind of answer to Tolkien. Because Game of Thrones is very nihilistic. There's no real moral crusade in Game of Thrones. It's just about the quest for power of these various kingdoms in this imaginary world called Westeros, and that and there's no real, so it's a very kind of like what he would see as a more realistic story, a less naive story. So George R. Martin, I think, is a kind of a backslapper, if that's the case. But interesting talk from Simon. Yeah, interesting. Simon's always interesting to listen to. Whether you agree or disagree with him, I'm sort of mixed in my agreement and disagreement with Simon. But always he's had always interesting to listen to. He's had a lot of bad press as Simon. I mean, he's had some horrible things said about him, including accusations, of bordering on criminal. Although, I've covered this before on HPANWO Voice, but basically he's been accused of all kinds of horrible things. And funny enough, as always, no one's called the police. But they just deal with it themselves, and it's to say, well, he's a horrible man, he's doing these horrible things, and we're in the process of interviewing more women about it. And I'm saying, are the police doing it? No, we're not calling the police. And they wouldn't do anything. And I thought, what are you talking about? Has he done this or not? Because if he has, call the bloody police. If not, shut the fuck up. So yeah, I mean, as someone myself who's had false allegations made against me, I absolutely deplore the things said about Simon. It's really horrible. And there's similar things. I mean, the backslappers said this about loads of people. Not necessarily sexual abuse, but like all kinds of lies and crooks and like money grabbing. They've been accusing people of. Yeah, but I mean this. Sometimes if someone attacks someone like Larry Warren, obviously I defend them. But I try to stay out of these dramas. Sometimes you can't, though. I can't stand by and allow someone to be accused unjustly, and I'll stick up for them. Anyway, interesting speakers, guys. Very interesting speakers. Well, time's getting on. I suppose I better go home soon. Gals, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Souvenirs. Here's my Nexus magazine. I've got another one under there, which is like the... which is the newest edition. I haven't actually got through this one yet. I read so slowly. There's my moisturiser. There's my mobile phone. This is Jane Lee Miller's card. So it's Academy of Angelic Healing. There you go. If you ever want to get healing from Jane, that's the way to do it. That's my toothbrush. Here's my Truth Seekers notebook, which I'm still using after how many years? This was given to me by Truth Seekers Northeast. I've still not filled it up. A picture. Okay, there's my glasses. There's 2 pens, one and a spare. Now someone gave me this as it's a spare notebook. Well, someone actually didn't want it, so they gave it to me because they saw me making notes, which is really lovely. It's really nice of them to do that. And here is the book I got from Simon's Presents. And this is a 1991 book by Kevin Randall and Don Schmidt. I met Don Schmidt. Now I've got a feeling that there's probably nothing in here I'm unfamiliar with, but I'm still going to have a quick look through it. It's got an American price stamp on it, so that's where it came from originally. $4, probably quite a long time ago then. But this is like one, along with Charles Bullett's and Bill Moore's book. This is, I think, one of the most important. It's a good basic introduction to the subject. So I do recommend it if you're not familiar with the Roswell incident. And what's this? I've been using one of Jane's cards as a bookmark. Well guys, I'm heading for the station now. It's at 9:30. Quite cool at the moment, which is good because it's going to get very hot later. Not tomorrow. Today's not going to be too bad. I think it's going to get up to 27. Tomorrow's going to be in the 30s again, and I'm back at work, so better wear my sun hat. I slept all right, pretty well, considering there was no I didn't have a pillowcase or duvet cover, so I was just sleeping on the raw pillowcase and duvet. They'd taken those away, and they hadn't replaced them, which is not very good. Although I I slept all right, but obviously other people have to use those duvets. They're going to probably have to be deep cleaned now because I've been lying on them. And as I said last night, I did talk to the guy at reception, and he said they had a little bit of an emergency. We've had problems with the staffing, and I think, oh gee, what's that? Crash UFO? Yeah. Which probably means, which I think probably means they brought in some person from an agency on the minimum wage on 0 hours contracts, and they expect good service. They're not going to get it. So there. Anyway, I'm now heading for the station, so a bit of a walk home. Post-conference blues coming up, so it doesn't last long though, a day or two, and then things are back to normal. So that's my next step, I think. Nice. Very nice. Okay, I've just had a really lovely breakfast. £12.25, lovely big fried breakfast, very delicious. Here at Simmons, established 1838. They seem to like their old shops here and old cafes here in King's Langley. So, yeah, that's, I was going to go to the Spoons in London, but that's done the trick, I think. Definitely. So I'm going to head for the station now and head home. There's a mural here. A welcome mural. It's really good.
Passengers leaving us near Bush, please mind the extra large gap between the train and the Brandon metro and coming onto the platform. Thank you.
Oh, this is Bushy, Hertfordshire. This is where Jamnoy 72 lives. Now, you probably know I've fallen out with many people over the years. I'm generally a friendly person, but I will make a stand if I have to. I don't fall out with people for no good reason, but I do. It does happen. And sometimes I don't care. I feel I even feel satisfaction and empowerment falling out with certain people.
This is Bushy.
But other people, when I fall out with them,
London North Western Railway Service, London Euston. The next stop will be Harrow and Wheatley.
sometimes I feel enormous satisfaction, like I say, empowerment when I fall out with certain people, because I feel they've been mistreating me for a long time, and I turn around and I bite back, and it makes me feel strong, it makes me feel relieved. Other times when I fall out with people, I actually genuinely regret it. And Jamnoy 72 is one of those people. I fell out with her. It's a personal issue, so I'm not going to describe it.
London North Western Railway Service for London Euston. We will be calling at Harrow and Wheatley and London Euston.
I'm bearing my heart here. Will you shut up? But other times I regret it.
The next stop will be Harrow and Wheatley.
And I do regret very much falling out with Jamnoy 72. And as I said, it's a personal issue, and I'm not going to describe what it is. But I do miss her. I think she's a good person, and really a decent person, and honourable and likeable. And I did value her as a friend. But the problem is, you see, I'd be happy. I'd like to make up with her, but I bet I'd find peace. But I won't find peace with her by backing down and saying I was in the wrong, because I wasn't. And that's the issue. I can't do that. There's several times in the past, especially when I was younger, and I would do that. I would admit I was wrong over something that I wasn't really wrong over, just to find peace with people, and I'm not going to do that anymore. And that's a shame. That's a pity. That's how it goes. That's the strange, convoluted path of human interaction. It could be that the issue will simply wear off. I mean, these problems sometimes have an expiry date, and they eventually just lose their energy, and Look, you like with Nick Colostrum, you know. If I just bumped into him again, Richard D. Hall's event, and started talking to him, it was just like nothing had happened, you know. It's strange that. So maybe the same will happen with Jam Noise. I don't know. Anyway, that was Bushy. So I'm heading for London. My train's running on time, so I'm very, very slowly going to make my way home. There's no rush.
Please mind the gap when leaving the train and step onto the platform before removing heavy luggage and pushchairs. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
I hate these Big Brother phrases. Is that a railway leading to an underground base? That's ridiculous. Come on, Ben. It's going too far. Who's Percy?
Travelling with me today, I'm with London Northwest Railway Services. Once again, this is now London Euston for our final stop.
Houston, we have a problem. There's another train. Okay, welcome back to Euston Road. I remember this actually because I was here. I think it was that event in London a few months ago that we shall not speak of on YouTube, which I attended as an Old Tech exclusive. I remember being here then. I've actually got to take a little trip. I'm going to take a little detour right now, which is actually nothing to do with this video. It's actually for something I'm planning for the gas banner, the HPWA. I'm working on a blog and a show for the gas banner. Do subscribe if you haven't, by the way. A bit different from what I'm doing now. And when I've done that, I'll get the underground to Victoria. But, so anyway, it's not too hot, I'm glad to say. It's nice. Anyway, so I'm out of the station now. It's quite a relief. The detour is to the University College Hospital, which is just down the road here. Should only take a few minutes. Well, I'm back and I'm here in this little spot here where I think last time I filmed here was the Megtown movie. Do you remember? In this little area of South Park. Just come here because it's nice and cool. It's getting hot here now. Well, I'm back home, back to work tomorrow. Just got to walk home. Take me about an hour to walk home. I'll take my time. There's not much more to add except I'm sort of bracing myself for post-conference blues, which, as I say, is a minor condition that lasts about 24 hours and then it's over. It's like, you know, it's one of those sort of yuppie viral conditions for the woo-woo. But suffice to say, there's not much more I can add except to say what a good time I've had. It's been another great Awaken Aware conference. And no real criticisms at all. I loved every moment of it. Thank you very much to everyone who made this happen. All the speakers, all the delegates. Of course to Kerry Cassidy for organising this, Neil, her assistant, for Katrina and her family for once again letting us use their beautiful home. And it's been great to see everyone. I'll miss you all, you guys who I saw there, and hopefully I'll see you all again very, very soon. And as for you HPANWO TV viewers, thanks for accompanying me and sharing this experience as much as you can through the video medium. And I'll be back soon with more videos. So thanks for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Partners, pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order.